lines above that. It was within that same paragraph. Where she says, you can be killed, but it says me killed, or something like that. So she's talking to the lizard women about whether they want to join the main character's side. That's what I thought. I'm just having trouble finding it. 5, 6. That's like how the actual story goes. We have the first scene up to a certain point. It cuts off the first scene, which is poker scene. This is Daniel's rounds. This is Tanner's drugs. Then this goes back to Daniel seeing Tanner. Actually, no, we want to get rid of this. This doesn't go here. It's 1.5, 1.6. For each scene, the fifth part is where everything collides. So in order to make the scene feel like it comes together, all of the dilemma points merge into the same scene. So the dilemma for scene 1 is also the dilemma for scene 2, which is also the dilemma for scene 3, which is also the dilemma for scene 4. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Remember, as always, guys, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. So, I'm wondering if someone subscribes now and I get more money, is if Twitch is like stolen like $3 from me. Those fuckers, which means they've probably stolen like, now if they've stolen $3 from 1 million streamers, they made $3 million. That's a lot of money. Oh, we love to banter around here, bro. Welcome, welcome. We are actually reacting to steps for writing a short story. In this case, specifically short stories, because we always write short stories, and seeing how that like works with what we do. So far, this hasn't anything to do with an outline. This is more ideas. It's just a little bit of those things where it's like, well, it's the devil you know.
Child's point of view, or even say the gun's point of view. Yes, you can write a story from an inanimate POV, although don't try that tricky stuff too often. Now, this is a great step because I don't think you can truly understand your story until you've looked at it from multiple points of view.
True.
Now, how do you
and that's exactly what we did with Reverse 9/11. We're like, we're bad at transitions. It's like, how do we go through getting through Tanner's scene? And it was like, well, we split all the scenes up, and we use Daniel as the transitioning scene. He transitions from the poker game into the ship, or into the plane. He also transitions from Tanner doing all the drugs and fucking around. How long have you been writing? I've been writing for... Like, this story, like, the Reverse 9/11 story kind of looks like a family feud until it turns into World War III. And it's like a commentary and a parody on the actuality of events and how those events are portrayed in the media. Yeah, fucking amazing game. Amazing stream today, guys. We fucking popped off. It was fucking great. And always remember, be yourself. You are amazing. And if you can't say fuck you to your friends, then who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you. My knowledge doesn't point to a definitive number of genders, as it's a concept shaped by both science and culture. None of these examples portray a third gender. They only partake in 2 genders. So where does a third gender come from? Is there a new gender? Your question seems to probe whether non-binary creates a whole new gender category distinct from any relation to male or female. And a lot of people that like say that, like, you know, gender fluid or like, you know, non-binary or stuff like that, and it's like, is that truly a new gender, or is that a declassification of your gender? Yeah, even according to Grok, there is no actual third gender that's ever specified in any way in documented science or anything else that says this is. That's, I switch from first person to third person, back to first person to third person to past tense to present tense, back to past tense to present tense to future tense, like almost every fucking sentence. It's actually ridiculous. The love for his people was palpable. That sort of thing. Ah. It's okay, Muffin. You are allowed to steal them. They are not mine. I am the same. I am type of person that will watch like 18 streams at the same time. So I am very much guilty of the same thing. I am glad that you are on Muffin's stream, because I like Muffin, and I think Muffin deserves a lot more attention. Fuck, I'm dead. Well, we got to stage 1. Remember, you can't say fuck you to your friend. Yo, boys! We back! How's it going, everyone? How is the day? Epic fucking emote there, Smokey. You know exactly what's going on, bro. And, look, I'm not sure. Usually we just play it by ear, but I don't know. It's up to you. I figure we just, you know, I'm going live at the same time. Whenever you want to collab, we hop in Discord, you know. And we just write it out. I figured it'd be like, you lead, I follow. Like, you write your part for, let's say, like a paragraph for the chick, and then I do, like, a response to whatever you did. And we kind of just, like, play back and forth. That's kind of how I figured we would do it. Hell yeah. And today, guys, we're doing plot again, but we're doing a comparison here. So we're going back to Book Fox. And we're gonna see, like, what the difference between, like, this video and the last video that we watched on plot. 51K. Damn, son. Oof! Ooh. Not a good number, bro. That is not a good number. Shit. Oh, guys, check this out. Oh, I thought this was fucking funny. So I got, like, one of my first real comments. Check this out. It was like, the random guy was like, give up. I was like, true! Thought that was 111K. I know, right? Like, what a dick! So I subscribed to him. Oh, that was fucking hilarious. My writing is better than that today. I did not accept 34%. Wait, what? Wait, what? No, twinning! Oh my god, that's so great. That's so fucking great. The chances are 1 in 169. That's almost a point, that's like a 0.65% chance of us fucking landing double 34s. That's fucking insane. I love twinning, guys. It's great. But yeah, never let anyone on the internet get you down, because people on the internet are dickbags. So, you know, just, like, take the opposite intent from people. That's usually the best way I do it. You know? I'm easing myself into the dickheads. Yeah. The dickheads are real. But hey, you just gotta ignore them. Just taking the tip for now. Gotta get used to it somehow, right? Eventually you'll be able to maneuver it. And go up, and over, and out, and gone. To the moon! So this will be my goal, guys, in 6.5 years, when I hit 2K subscribers, I'm going to go back and I'm going to comment on that guy who will probably have 26K subscribers at that time, and I will tell him, I gave up. I upload a vid on YouTube of a streamer getting hit. Why, Smokey? What the fuck? Why? At 300 views in 2 hours? Hell yeah, Smokey, because people love to see that shit. Like, ooh, bad big danger, scary. Real scary. Was the streamer you, Smokey? That's like the one thing that's itching. I'm like, wait. Did you upload a picture of yourself getting hit by a car? Did you hit yourself by a car? No, Shakamako. She's a twat. How'd she get hit by a car? Standing in the middle of the fucking road? I'm debating starting a YouTube channel. You definitely should start a YouTube channel, Book Buyer. The earlier, the better. 100%. Even if you just upload daily fart videos, you probably still hit the fucking moon. I mean, what?
BRRRRRT. Oh no, I just crop dusted the whole server. Send help or a gas mask.
You got some demons in your head, Beezus? No, I just know what people like. If Book made a channel dedicated to farting, I guarantee you she'd have like 20,000 subscribers in a month. And then they'd be asking where our OF is. And you'd be making bank. It's like, man, I could become a foot streamer and make a fuck ton of money. But do I really want to be known as a foot streamer? Not really. Make money farting for weirdos. You never know, Book. You never know until you fucking try. Just sit in the tub with like one of those squeeze things. Just pretend like you're farting underneath the water. It's not sex work, it's fake sex work. It's taking the easiest thing to do and turning it into money. You don't even have to do anything. You just sit there and pretend. You don't even have to actually fart. You just have to pretend that you're farting. As long as people think that you're farting, you're good. You can literally have a whoopee cushion. I don't think it would matter to people. Hey, it's been streamed for 8 hours. Holy fuck, Muffin. Jesus, son. Damn. Going hard, brother. Fucking love it. Love to see it. Remembering that episode about farting? I don't want to be like Chris on Family Guy. I never saw that episode, Book. That was probably beyond my time. But yeah, I still think that's fucking hilarious. Like, oh my god. There is an audience out there, man. You know? That's all I'm saying, guys. There's an audience out there for it, okay? You just gotta know your audience. I know I'm a degenerate, and I like to build a degenerate fan base. 'Cause I'm not gonna ever be able to not swear and not make fun of people and not just be a dickhead in like a positive way, you know? Like I'm the anti-dickhead, like the anti-villain. Happy belated birthday from Marion. Also, she was provert, a professional pevert. She did exactly what you were talking about. Yes, Sean. Yes.
Can I find any Genshin Impact gift cards in Hong Kong at 7-Eleven?
Does Hong Kong have 7-Eleven, Zoink? You guys have 7-Eleven? Is it actually called 7-Eleven, or is it like, hi, how are you beautiful people of the internet? Shayra, we are doing well today. Does it like sort of act like is it called 7-Eleven, or is it like called something else? Is it called like whatever Chinese 7-Eleven is. Thought you banned him? Well, I banned like 3 of his 7 accounts, Smokey. And then he got a ban on request, and I was like, hey, cool, I get to get the achievement for having a ban on request. Or an unban request. So he got unbanned. You know what's crazy? There's a 7-Eleven on every corner in Korea. Oh, I believe that, Beezus. 7-Eleven is fucking huge. Yes, I saw the link there, their book. I wasn't quite sure about it. Fucking, oh my god, I hate shorts sometimes.
Can't. I don't have one in the chamber.
Meg, fat on Brian.
I can't. I don't have one in the chamber.
One time I give you a chance, you're not
Thank
ready.
you for
Chris, tag in for
chair
Meg.
dance. Hiccups will now dance for you. Please
See
fully
that
enjoy
kid?
this
He's a
immersive
gamer.
experience.
Great job, Chris. Now go hit the showers. Meg, you miss 100% of the farts you don't take.
True! You caught me at a bad time, Zoink, man. If you're gonna do that shit, you gotta know you're gonna get scammed because you're scamming yourself.
It ain't over yet.
And I don't know why the music is like, something happened with the settings and shit, and all of the notifications are super quiet now. True, big man Francis, how's it going, buddy? Welcome, welcome, good sir. So everyone want to know something funny now that everyone's here? I got my first comment ever. Guys, I got my first comment ever.
You did good, you can rest now, babe.
Wish you many more of the same. Can you buy me a Genshin? No, Zoink, I can't. We don't sell that shit here.
Get up, you fat fuck, and touch your toes.
Oh, I didn't even... Wait, he watched and commented on... I didn't even know what video he commented on. I didn't even look. Trump Nobel Peace Prize. Somebody watched this and actually put a fucking comment on it. Oh my god. I thought it was a short, like one of my, see, this is why you never take things for granted, and you always look into the context, because I think this comment is either from a anti-Trumper, or like a pro-Palestinian person. Or it's complete satire, but hey man, if Trump negotiated that Uganda deal, if he actually shuts down, like,
WTF
Russia
is
and
Indeed Boy
Ukraine,
Chat.
dude, he might actually fucking deserve it. Because we did the analysis, and according to this, yeah, Trump stopped negotiations with us. The fuck is he doing, chat? Oh, I was stretching. I'm pooped, only playing TM for 8 whole hours. In that time, I've only been playing a bit of ranked, got 1 master, and discovered hunted shorts. I got top 22, top 33, top 105, top 180, and top 388. I would have commented, but my account doesn't let me. Lame. Only 1 view on that video, and they felt moved to comment that. Exactly, Beezus. That's a huge fucking thing. And it's like, it's some random guy with 1,000 subs. And he's 280 videos. So, like, I mean, that's, like, fuck yeah, dude. That's what it's all about. Moving up in the world. That's what I call it. What is this? I'm not clicking on something that says ooh-woo. Okay? Zoink? I'm not clicking on something that says ooh-woo.
I hit 180 subs.
You hit 180 subs? Fuck yeah, dude. That's epic. Congratulations. Hell yeah. Go to my channel. I set the vids up again. It keeps switching off. Can you check if it's there? Sure, Muffin. Well, they clearly look to be there. 49 views. 53 views, 49, 53, oh, these are all of them, 36, yeah, you've got, your recents and your alls go, because now that you're an affiliate, you should get your next, 14-day saves, instead of like 5 or 7 day saves, so your VODs will stay out longer. But I recommend often creating a YouTube channel, downloading the VODs, and uploading the VODs to the YouTube channel, or
Why not
recording locally on OBS, so you can just automatically upload the videos onto YouTube. Because then you have you have all of your videos from back in the day, and if you ever pop off, then you've got all that backed up monetization, basically. Can't make a channel because my account doesn't let me.
Don't fall over though.
Damn. Hey man, if you want Muffin, I can make one for you and upload your VODs onto it if you want. You could set up the email, just give me the name, like the email that you want me to account it with. Then you have full access to it, but I could just upload the videos. I mean, if you wanted. No, you just make a random email, and then you just tell me what the email is. I make the account with, like, a random name on the email, and then upload the VODs, and eventually you know, you would have all the shit. I do the same, but I'll take all the revenue you earn. Well, you can't earn revenue until you have 1,000 subs. So, good luck with that. I mean, if you pop off, like, but then again, if you pop off, fuck yeah,
Hello,
dude!
bro, WSSAPPP, remember me.
Hello, what's up? Remember me? Yes, Bomb Dropper. I fucking remember you, dude. You are fucking awesome. You are the man, bro. Zoink! If... I know I'm scamming, bro. I mean... They called for it, bro.
Scammer, 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 SC.
Okay, you're timed out there, bro. Cause you're just... Oh, we're back to Book
BTW, I
Fox.
couldn't join your birthday stream, and happy birthday.
Oh, no worries, Bomb Dropper. It's all good. Thanks for joining and having fun and coming in and hanging out. The birthday party stream is on the 10th of July, though. That is the big day. That's the 24-hour stream. Wait, what the fuck, guys? I timed him out. Why is it... What the fuck?
Nice try, better luck next time, fat ass. Get back in that chair, you lazy ass shit streamer.
Oh, I clicked the wrong button! I clicked the wrong button, guys. There we go. Okay. Sorry, guys. My bad. Pin, remember? Oh, you're true. You are true. Pin. I keep forgetting. One day I might remember.
What are we doing right now?
We are just basically fucking around. We have, we're just talking about shit and fucking around. He has like 8 accounts, guys. He'll come back on another account. I timed both of them out. If he talks again and starts being annoying, I'll actually ban him. But for now, he's just timed out. Zoink, you gotta learn your lesson, bro. Like, you disrupt the stream, people don't like it, they're gonna ask for you to get banned. I mean, at a certain point, I just won't. If he's just gonna keep doing it. Zoinko is 80% of the viewers. But if it's like, if it's putting someone off, that's like 20-30% of the stream. Well, I didn't ban Valiant Boy. Valiant Boy is not banned. He just never came back. We took away his moderator. He was a moderator. And he proved he couldn't be a moderator, so we took away his powers. And then he flipped out, proving that it was a very good idea that we took away his powers. I'm very convinced he's Valiant Boy, and he's just lying about being from Hong Kong. But he's... Guys... I don't think he is, because he's like 10 times worse than Valiant Boy. The only problem, then again, I never saw Valium in chat, so I don't know about mods. I have you editor status.
I see that you
Oh,
played the
cool.
AI recommended.
Thanks, Muffin. It's more of a legend to me. So you played the AE I recommended. Why is this channel about conspiracy theories about the chat? Because it's lore, Book. It's like the biggest thing you have to know is people love lore. People love stories. So the more lore you have about your stream and the more things people can talk about it, that is the better your stream is. Because you want people talking about you. I think Book, if Valiant Boy 2 now, he's trying to throw us off the trail, I need people to have lore. Valiant Boy was a French guy who was like my very first consistent viewer. We gave him moderator. I literally stream how? I was joking. Oh, I know. I know, Bees, but that's the best part, is like, you never know, you're too coherent to be any of them true! You're not randomly spamming things in French. Smokey is 100% Valium Boy, because Smokey is the top tier troll. He's got everything down. Je peux faire ça? I don't know. Ka? Fuck if I know. But yeah, so we are back to BookFox. This channel is BookFox. I find he's an editor, and his videos are just more stable, but he's been doing YouTube for like 10 years, so, you know, he's a lot more comfortable with it than I would say Claire is. But, you know, it moves on and it moves up, right? If a container contains all containers, does it contain itself? BookFox is my favorite by a large margin. Yeah, I could definitely see that, Beezus. I can't get the doohickle thing. True! Not sure what you mean by that, though. Oh, the A with the accent on it? I see what you mean. Yes, very much so. But yeah, so this one came out a month ago. Since we did Plot yesterday, I figured we'd do a comparison video in Plot to see, so technically it's pronounced Ka. Ah, because the doohickle makes it soft C. I did not know that. I did not know what the point of the accent on the A was. Gop, gop, gop. True. I mean, what? In Kava, it's pronounced Sava. Gok, gok, gok. True! Hawk, tool, gok. I mean, what? Lock and gawk your clocks, gawk and cucks. I mean, what? It's under the C, not A. Whatever. The accent. Whatever it is. I didn't know it was under the C. I thought it was over the A. Yeah, hell if I know, Book. All I know is those are like the overarching term for those are accents, as far as I believe I know. Like any type of letter that has the apostrophe above or below it is an accent. Lock your cock and my clock and mock lock and sock. True, Muffin. That's a good one right there. Muffin knows what's going on. Muffin, you need to do a writing stream, and you need to write the Palico story, man. I think about that every day, and now that we're playing Monster Hunter Wilds again, even though there was an update today, or there was supposedly an update today. Is this it? 3 days ago. Is this Misetsune? Sergios? I didn't know they were adding Sergios? Oh, fuck yeah! We have Tigrex and Sergios again!
Then I could join.
If you were doing 20 hour streams, then I could join. Yeah, that's on the 10th of July. It's the 1-year anniversary 24-hour stream. Gotta go brush my teeth. True Book. You must install the latest version of Monster Hunter Wilds in order to play online multiplayer and access downloadable content. Now the question is, are they charging for this? 4:30 a.m. UTC. So Sunday the 29th at 9:30, so it should already be good to go. Which means we need to download this. And boom, there it is, guys. It's fucking updating. Oh, hell yeah. Mitsutsune and fucking Seregios. We're going hard today. Sure, that's what you say every time you toke. Yeah, and then we get over it. Yeah, I know. Okay, so skip the whole story part of stream, then go Monster Hunter. Smokey, we only have one more scene to write in Duart's story, so I think you're right. I think we push it as far as possible, and we just skip Duart today, and we go straight into Monster Hunter. Because the commentary isn't going to be very long either. But I did want to bring up the clip for reference towards commentary. Because all the commentary, let's face it guys, it comes from Asmon's stream. I just find some interesting thing on his stream, and I go, hey, I could write an AI grok thing about that. Here it is. Actually, isn't it on the YouTube? Let me see. Let me see if there's one. I have a fun fact. Yes, Bomb. I want to hear a fun fact. I really want to hear a fun fact. Where is Asmon Gold? It's over.
What in the South Park is happening in America?
About 2 weeks ago, a Norwegian tourist named Mads Mikkelsen, who is not to be confused with the Danish actor from the James Bond and Marvel movies, landed in Newark Airport. On arrival, he was detained by immigration agents who demanded access to his cell phone and then denied him entry to the U.S. As one Norwegian news outlet, which spoke to him, reports, quote, Mikkelsen says that after being warned he could face a fine or even prison, he gave immigration officers the PIN code to his phone. He was then confronted with its contents, pictures the officers found questionable. In particular, a meme of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, portrayed as bald, and
I said I'd do the story when I get bored of everything else. The new campaign is going to come out tomorrow, so that's going to sustain me more for a couple of weeks. I've got Subnautica to play a couple more weeks. I've got Chess a couple more weeks. I've got Minecraft a couple more weeks. Then the next campaign is going to come out. So after 3 months, so basically never is when I'm doing the story. Yes! Content brain, Muffin. Content brain. Always keep on top of the content that is limited and store content that does not expire. And when you need to, you pull that content out of the closet and use it as filler when you have nothing else. Content motherfucking brain. I hate ads too, bro. So this is, I'll go back and say it again.
Donut by giving back shots to the donut that is WJY. They have big holes in them.
Where do you think the icing comes from? And why it's so erratic? Okay, so this is the clip relating to the commentary we'll do today, which is about political memes and their absolute power.
I think he's going to be the next president, guys.
True!
I think there are too many of these memes to stop it from happening at this point. I do. I actually think that there have been so many memes, it can't not happen. No, I know this is a fake story. Of course it's a fake story.
a private photo of...
But yeah, so it's all about memes, guys. All about memes. Why is this guy shiny? This dude, a Norwegian tourist, got kicked out of a country for having this picture on his phone. No, Muffin, it's fake news. It's fake news. That's not why and he wasn't even, the guy wasn't even detained by security. It's 100% a fabricated fake story to try and make fun of the memes of J.D. Vance. And in doing so, they are enacting the Streisand effect. And like Asmund says, Vance is just becoming more... JD is the vice president of the United States. He is Donald Trump's vice president. And he is adored so much that people make memes about him. Because he is so fucking based. He looks good. I'm glad you're in Canada. No, Muffin, Canada fucking sucks. I hear another fact you want to... I have another fact you want to hear. Yes, Bomb Dropper. Drop me another fact, good sir. But yeah, okay. So the ad break's over. We're going to take one more toke, and then we're going to jump into the reacts, guys. Always takes a little bit to get our feet off of the ground, but once our feet are off the ground, we're flying straight for the sun. We get way too close to the sun and realize we're falling into it. We just say, fuck it, light up a smoke, and peace the fuck out. I was responsible for 9/11. Fun facts. Damn, Muffin! Ooh! Ah! Eesh! Oof! Damn, son, that's brutal. You have a time machine? I've been lying about my age and my country. I'm gonna go live around an hour, be back for you to read chapter 2. Alright, sounds good, book buyer. And everything crashed. See, I was waiting for this, guys. I was waiting for this. I knew this shit was inevitable. I knew this shit was gonna happen. And I'd rather not have this shit happen in the middle of the fucking
chopped off and
thing.
killed and dried theta. Why we get that slurp and they become so soft.
What noodles were some long-ass tapeworms. The head was chopped off and killed and dried. They slurp and they become so soft. Damn, Bomber. That's crazy. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta restart the stream. Fuck you guys. This is some bullshit. We gotta figure this shit out. We back? We back, boys? Man, we really gotta get this shit sorted. This is some fucked up shit, man. I don't know what's going on. Why? Why do they do this? Why do they do this to us, guys? I fucking hate it. It's so bullshit. It doesn't make any sense.
Hi,
Why
I'm
it
John
fucking crashes like this. The stream crashed. It basically happens every fucking day. My screens go black, all of the browsers crash and give me errors, and OBS freezes. And then I have to close OBS and reopen OBS. That's usually why I try to kill a ton of time at the beginning of the stream, because, like, within, like, half an hour of the stream opening, this shit fucking happens. Sometimes it'll happen before I even start the stream. I hope it happens before I start the stream, because then it usually doesn't happen later. Guys! Did we get a response? Oh my god! Oh my god! Guys! Guys! Holy shit! Holy shit, guys, we got another comment. Never give up. Never back down. Oh, hell yeah. That's what it's all about, boys. That's some good-ass shit right there. Alright, alright, alright. Did I take this fucking toke? I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know. Everything got fucked up. I don't even care. Let's fucking start this shit, boys. Notes on terrible... What is this? 8 terrible steps of plotting? Wait, what's the exact title? Truths. Notes on truths about plotting. Oh, God! Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm John Matthew Fox of Book Fox, and these common misconceptions about plot can
Yo,
really...
calm down. Don't bump in the desk. Why not? Liar! You're full of hot air. I expect better out of you. Humping. Oh, no, I'm always humping the desk. That's why the camera shakes like that. It's like a fucking... This is like... like, oh God, it's an earthquake! Oh God! Okay. We're good now, guys. Now, this is the TV is so, like, unstable, and the camera is in the very corner, so the tiniest movement completely fucking jostles the camera. So, like, when I, like, roll up and the sides of my chair hit the table, because they're literally at the same level as the table. I have another fact you want to hear. Yes, I do, Bomb. Keep throwing them out.
Book if you don't catch them early in the process. For this video, we're going to look at 8 brutal truths about plot, and we're going to start with the ones that are easiest to fix, and then move towards the ones that are harder to fix. And the first point we need to look at is plot isn't what just happens.
All right, 1. Plot isn't just what happens. Ooh! See, this is how we get notes, guys. He's great at giving notes because he used to be a teacher. So he understands that concept very well. So that's why these videos are very well presented.
Sometimes I'll edit a book and it will have a whole bunch of events lined up chronologically, sort of like ducks in a row. And I have to tell them, yes, this is a series of chronological events, but there's a big difference between that and a story. To make it a story, you need to connect these events thematically.
Okay. To make it a story, you need to connect these events thematically. Show characters learning and growing.
To make this a story, you need to show characters learning and growing. To make this a story, you need to create anticipation.
Create anticipation for the next part of the story. Easy notes, guys. This is like W.
For the next part of the story. And to make this a story, you need to create reversals.
Reversals and surprises, as always.
Surprises. Don't get sucked into this common misconception that a series of events...
A series of events is not a story. Wait, what? What do you mean a series of events is not a story? I've been writing stories wrong this entire time? No! I don't know. I think I usually have a pretty good theme for the story. It's just whether those events actually, like, feel like they connect. Like, even in cryogen and stuff, things feel a little bit like, well, things feel especially disjointed because of the expanse of time.
Human body that controlled us, and the blood cells and the white blood cells would be some protectors. They would protect us, and our sneeze would be a missile to launch the bacteria, and fart would be an atomic bomb that takes harmful gases out.
Damn. Well, that's true, Bomb Dropper. Let's see if I can find the clip of it. What is it called? It's not a DNA strand. The fuck is it called? Protein collecting process. No, fuck. I've looked up this clip before. Yes. Motor protein. This is literally what's inside of you. And they walk back and forth along these lines, gathering some sort of molecule. And you have quadrillions of these inside of you. And that is literally how your body functions. That's how you breathe. That's how your blood moves. That's how everything works. Is these tiny little guys moving things around inside of you. So in a sense, that's very true, Bomb Dropper.
Constitutes a story. There's a big difference. The second truth that you absolutely need to know is that character
and plot are inseparable. Okay, let's look at this one. I think this one's actually very potent in our book because the plot wouldn't make any sense without Husai, because Husai's the only human. How do lesbian have baby? Spinal fluid. Because female spinal fluid has the same DNA that can act as sperm. So two biological women can actually have a biological child. Science is fucking crazy, guys. So women have sperm in their spine. That's fucked up. They're not lesbians. How'd they get the sperm there? No, it's just the spinal fluid itself has the same proteins that sperm does. So it's like you can use it to construct fake sperm cells in order to impregnate with real, like artificial insemination with real biological women. Yep. Crazy, isn't it? Fucking crazy shit. We've been able to do that for like 15 years, too. That's not something new. It's like fully developed and shit.
And plot are inseparable. The best plots arise from character decisions, not external
Best stories rise from character decisions, not outside forces. Okay, so this one breaks us because the character decisions. I mean, aside from being like the initial set-off, it pushes Husai in a specific direction and gives him a purpose. But it's EM, Bomb Dropper. EM for emote. And then the decision he makes after that. Like, for instance, not bringing Zayd along, going along with the Viceroy, trying to... I mean, in some ways he's kind of running away, but it's not really. You know, when it's so bad, the CEO has to go and start fucking auditing the company because it's so bad. That's literally, like, what's happening. Is things are so confusing and so bad, Husai's like, I gotta go check this shit out for myself and see what the fuck is going on. Because I have no idea.
events exerting pressure on a story. And really, some writers are surprised when they find out that you can plot an entire novel solely through character decisions.
True.
And I'll make 2 quick points.
I mean, most of the things come from character decisions. Like, Husai's decision to go talk to his ancestors, or attempt to talk to his ancestors, which is actually Gaia. And like, and not just Husai's decisions either, like the Viceroy's decisions, Walker, Hildebrandt, and Yap, Gluttony and Various, even Zaid's decisions, push the story in a direction even though you don't know, like, right now.
About this. First, a character's personality determines how they're going to respond to
Character's personality determines how they're going to respond to a plot event or to plot events. I have a story ID for you. You want to hear it? Yes, Bomb Dropper, I do. The next one would be like... Okay, let's go through the top 5 characters, and let's put them in Husai's position, and let's see what they do. So let's say Zaid finds the Calm Pearl and watches it. He would instantly know everything because he is fascinated with adventurers and adventurer history, and he knows every single person that Husai has ever adventured with. So he sees Torg and he goes, wait, what the fuck? This is the evidence we've been, like... Where has this been for 50 fucking years? He goes straight to Husai and says, dude, we found it. And Husai's like, okay, forget that you ever fucking saw this when it ends. And Zaid's reaction looking at Husai, and Husai being like, it's not me. Trust me, I didn't do that. And then maybe you have, like, a falling out between Husai and Zaid. And then Zaid has to... Zaid, like this could be an entirely... Like, just from Zaid finding the Calm Sphere instead of Husai first, it changes the entire story. Because Zaid would have to rat out Husai, because at the end of the Calm Sphere, it looks like Husai is the one who's stopping people from learning about this. He's the one who killed Torg. So it's like all of Zaid's faith and everything just falls apart. And he instantly runs to the Viceroy and the Monarch, and all of a sudden the story starts with Husai being a fucking traitor and being captured and exiled. I'm thinking, is that a better way to do it? And maybe start off with, like... Because then that could lead into why he finds the Warriors of Light. Oh, because he's an ex-adventurer. Oh, like... It's so good! I can't believe I never considered this before. I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is that like too much? Because then Husai has to hide who he is the entire time, and it's like... There's so much they could play off of that, but I mean, you could get a fake ID like the Warriors of Light have. He'd already have access to the root, so he'd still be able to do the ritual. I really got to sleep on this. This could be crazy. And then let's say, like, Various finds the Calm Pearl. He's gonna go to Husai and he's gonna say, okay, I've known you long enough and I know you didn't do, dude, when was the last time we were away from each other was when you were doing the speech, and you came back immediately after. So unless it took them less than an hour to complete the entire thing, which the video clearly shows that it's, like, multiple hours and, like, you know, a lot of fucking footage, So there's definitely a time discrepancy and like a thing. Zavarius would be like logicking out the reasons why it couldn't be Husai, and then he would look at Husai's size and say, "Wait a second, how tall was Tor?" Like, dude, there's something fucked up here. And Husai's like, "I know illusion magic exists. I can't explain why." And it's like that takes the story in an entirely different direction too. So it's like, whoever finds the Calm Pearl and starts off the story is a massive, like, has massive impact on the direction that the story goes and how each of the characters is treated. Like, if a random person found it, like a random novice or a random adventurer, and just, like, turned in... Can someone quickly pop into my stream and see if they hear double? Also, if they can hear it all. I can do that, book. Yeah, sounds good. The book, we may have just reinvented my entire book. Okay, we...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I can hear myself.
Keep talking?
I'm getting double. So are you getting double?
Maybe? It's...
Hello, how's your stream going?
Like, it's so... I think it is, but it's so close together that it's like... It's not... Tell her to mute her own stream. Oh, yeah. Do you have your own stream muted? Because you should have your own stream muted.
I don't, because if I do, then I can't hear it at all. And I don't know if that's a goal.
You're not supposed to be able to. You just look like I can't hear it. I just look at OBS to see if you guys can actually hear me and how loud I actually am. So like I don't actually hear the stream at all. I hear everything natively on the PC because of the headphones.
Okay, so
But like I don't actually hear the stream.
I think it's a double for me. It's a very delayed double, but it's a double. And can you guys still hear me?
Yep. I can hear you.
Oh, it's because I'm watching you and you're watching me.
Yeah, there we go. See, we there's always something in the background, right? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No worries. Enjoy. I'm gonna keep you up in the corner.
Plot events. For an example of this, let's look at The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. Because of his beliefs about what a butler should be, very aloof and dignified and not speaking up about his own personal beliefs, his only goal is to provide service for his family. That affects the plot in two huge ways. It prevents him from acknowledging his feelings for Miss Kenton, and it also prevents him from truly acknowledging that his employer has sympathies with Nazis. I mean, just imagine if this butler had the personality of Brad Pitt's character in Inglourious.
Rich family, weak body, impressive knowledge, dies, boom, reincarnation, strong body, have knowledge of previous life, poor family, goes on adventure, finds a demon chained, he makes contract with demon, they go on adventure together, they find ancient ruin, they now understand, they touch some suspicious blood, they now understand the language, they take over the enemy domain, they make allies, then you make other stuff. Holy shit, that took a long time. There you go, bomb dropper. Write it. Don't care how bad it is, how terrible it is, you gotta start somewhere. Write, even if it's only 300 words. Even if it's only 30 words. Even if that's just the story. Write it.
Bastards. We would have a Nazi killing story instead of the very quiet domestic story that Kazuo Ishiguro wrote. And the second point I want to make is that the very best stories feature plots that test your main character's
True. plots that test your main character's values and flaws. Okay, well, let's look at the values that Husai holds. His values are camaraderie, honor, truth, faith, and knowledge. And his flaws are he's a perfectionist. He overthinks things. It's not quite decision paralysis, but it's like he has like delayed decision making because he overthinks everything. It takes him forever to come up with a decision. But when he does come up with a decision, it's usually really, really good. But making him think on the spot, he makes the worst decisions if he can't think it through. Because he'll just have so many assumptions in his head that if 2 or 3 of those assumptions don't work, the entire plan is basically completely derailed. And it's just like the first 5 seconds of things that come to his head. So he's like, he needs time in order to take in what's going on. So that's why Varius is very important. Because Varius is like spontaneous, in the moment, does the thing. So he can watch Varius, learn from Varius, and then enact and change and be like, okay, actually we need to do this now. And then Varius is like, yeah, you're right, actually that makes a lot of sense. Perfect, let's do that. That's generally how it works. But he's also very arrogant, and he can think other people, like, not belittling, but he doesn't give people the credit that they should deserve. And he definitely does that with Zaid, too. Where he doesn't, he... What do you mean by that? What do I mean by what, Bomb Dropper? 'Cause due to the delay and stuff, I'm not sure, somewhat dismissive. Yeah, Sean. Because he thinks he has all the facts. He's a know-it-all. And he's like, yeah, nah, you don't know what you're doing, I do. How's it going, Raymond Dow? How has your day been, good sir? The stream crashed again today. I gotta make sure the TTS is back on. Yes, okay. We are once again back to doing Book Fox. What's another flaw? Oh, he hides things. He's not a liar, but he hides things. Sometimes for good reason, and sometimes not. But he is very much of the mindset of not giving information to people. And that's, like, goes back to, like, him, like, not necessarily not trusting people, but not trusting people to be, like, to use the information appropriately. Right? So it's almost like he wants, like, a monopoly on information, so he's the only one who can make decisions. And this manifests in his vicarious nature of, like, reactionary things. By the way, I'm watching a manga recapped. It's 6 hours long. It is like a magical fantasy manga of necromancy and holiness. Damn, that sounds epic, Bomb Dropper.
Values and flaws.
Oh, and then the plot in the story that challenges that is him not trusting Zaid and thinking Zaid's too naive and, you know, doesn't understand and winds up killing Zaid. His refusal to accept the fact that he is the hero and he is the main person means that he's spent his entire life not doing the one thing that he was literally born to do, which is spread the information. But to him, it's something that he can't do. And it's always been, and that's why it's so, like, important, the scene with when he breaks down with Hildebrandt and he tells Hildebrandt everything, and she's like, wait, what the fuck? And it's like, it's completely understandable when you ask someone, hey, do I look like what species am I? So what the fuck do you mean what species you are? You're an octopus. And you're like, yeah, I'm not an octopus. This is fucked up, man. At some point in time, it's just, he has like PTSD over this shit. If you were reincarnated to another world, which class would you pick? Like archery, swordsman, like that. You have infinite choices. I'd be like a writer, and I'd have like Alan Wake abilities. Like, whatever I write down becomes reality. Think of like Claire Obscure Expedition 33 at the Painters Guild, but imagine the Writers Guild. But the Writers Guild is whatever you write just comes to life. Instead of paintings. So you just have books that come to life. It's fucking brilliant. So I'd be like a scholar or something like that. But my powers only work in one book. And if I fill up that book, I'm basically out of powers. You would be a novel person with dangerous skills. You mean that? Super homesteader. Whatever you figure out how to do happens instantly and perfectly. No bomb dropper. I would just, like... You'd have to come up with the perfect thing to say, because the more that you write down in the book, the less space you have. So eventually, you will run out of space, and you won't be able to use your power anymore. So you have to be very, very careful with what you write down, and how you write down, and what you do. So it's a very double-edged sword, but it could be the most powerful class to ever exist, if you knew how to use it right.
For an example of this, look at Station 11 by Emily St. John
Not
Mandel.
bad skills.
In this
True.
post-apocalyptic world,
I like overpowered skills that are like basically impossible to activate. It's like the stars need to align. Level 4, baby! Hell yeah, bomb dropper, it's all what it's about, bro.
this belief that art still matters, that they're going to continue performing Shakespeare. But when their very survival is at stake, it really challenges those beliefs about preserving civilization. So, little pro tip here, if you are stuck with your plot, pivot to character. Look at that character.
Stuck on plot. Pivot to character.
Decision. Make them make choices, and it'll probably help you get out of that little rut. Some of you might disagree with this next point, and I'm okay with that. Let's have a discussion about it. It is number 3. Structure shouldn't be...
No! No! I mean, it's so true. Okay. Do you watch anime? Of course I watch anime, bomb dropper. I've literally got Midoriya and Ichigo behind me. I got Guts on the wall there. I got the full Jujutsu Kaisen, 1 Demon Slayer, 2 Hero Academias, and a Black Clover. And that's just what's on the wall. I have like hundreds of posters. But we're going to an ad break in a sec here, guys, so we're going to hold up on this next one until the ad break's over. Structure shouldn't be formulaic. No! I use formulas for everything! No offense, but My Hero Academia is kind of gay. True, bomb dropper, I can agree with that. I still really like it, though. It's like, it's not top 50 or anything, but it's still good. I'm invested in the story. I guess that's how I would say it. I'm invested in the story because I love All for One. I fucking love All for One. He is like the best fucking villain. Like, the idea that he has just, over time, slowly gathered these people by preying on, like, the most important things in their life and giving them, like, the feeling like they have meaning so he can manipulate them. Like, I fucking love psychological villains like that. Where their followers are cult-like in the way that they worship them, but not for some stupid reason, but it's because he's probably the reason they're still alive, because he saved them in some way, he gave them some sort of advice, he gave them some sort of something, and then he probably offered them a power, or he took their power for another power, and, you know, ended their suffering by taking away a power that just they couldn't cope with society with. And it's so poetic the way he goes out, too, using Erie's ability to transmute himself back, knowing that he's, like, once he uses it on himself, he's just going to keep getting younger until he doesn't exist anymore. So he knows he's going to die, but he's going out with such flair that I fucking absolutely love it. What is the most cringe anime you've watched? The most cringe anime I've watched. Most cringe anime. To be fair, I haven't watched the new Devil May Cry Netflix series, but I heard it was shit. See, I just don't watch bad anime because I don't remember. I'll watch like 2 minutes of an episode and be like, this is bullshit, and I'll just turn it off and never fucking think about it again. So that's probably why, because I instantly dip out. I'm like, nope, boring, dumb, peace. If like the first 5 minutes of the episode doesn't hook me, you doing React right now? You do reaction on anime? What do you mean reaction on anime, Bomb Dropper? Because the reacts are for educational purposes. Like right now, will you watch an anime? I can't watch an anime on stream, Bomb Dropper. That's TOS. Because it's copyright.
Formulaic. So the way
I could watch like a trailer, I could watch a clip, but I can't watch the whole anime.
I view structure is more of like a tool to manage tension and to manage readers' engagement with your story. So I'm going to present two choices for authors when they're dealing with structural models for their
and, Bomb Dropper, I really don't think you understand. This tree is what I based the crystalline tree off of. Like, this is the crystalline tree in my book. This is literally how I envisioned it. I was like, it's fucking perfect. Yes, that's the essence of the moon. It's beautiful. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, fucking sold. Like that is how big it is. Mashal, magic, and muscles. Oh, I've heard really, really good things about Mashal. Okay, you guys want to do a react? I'll see if we can do a react.
Or tales of fantasy.
Does he have one for Mashal? It's only most anticipated. He doesn't have like an actual full-on video for it. But yeah, if you want anything about anime, if you don't know VinnyTube, go check out VinnyTube. He does like the craziest shit of like compilations and stuff. When fire users flex too hard. Those legendary one-man army moments. Like, he does some really, really good shit. But yeah, if you want to check out anime stuff, check out his channel. It's fucking epic. Actually, here, I'll link it in chat. Go check out VinnyTube. I've been watching this guy for fucking ever. Yeah, so only ever watched One Punch Man and Mashal. What, Smokey? You need to get your arse out there and get some good classics going. Major Pain. Well, we're in the middle of a React bomb, so maybe after.
Choice is they choose one structure and they
choose one structure, use that for their book. One structure, use that for all their books. I'm guessing 2 is no?
use that for all their books. Something like, Save the Cat, which is very dogmatic about what's going to happen on page 52 and what's got to happen on page 96. The limitations on a structure like that, though, is that it might not be right for your story in certain places in the book. It's just simply too prescriptive. So I really prefer this second model of how to deal with structuring your book. My recommendation is to look at 5 or 10 models and take from them what you need for your particular story. If
that's what I do.
Story beat doesn't work,
that's what I do, guys. I take the best parts of everything and I combine them together. I say, this idea has some really shitty parts in it. Let's get rid of those shitty parts and fill those holes with good ideas. Hell yeah. Choose a ton of different structures and mold them into the one shape your story needs. Boom!
That's fine. Throw it out, right? And use something from a different model. There are so many story structure patterns.
We've already done stories, like story shapes. And it turns out that actually the 7-point plot structure is actually like a better representation of our story shape than the pyramid. Don't stop, just watch the whole story, and then I think you should share your opinion. For what? For what, Bomb Dropper?
Story structure patterns out there. Just don't get locked into a single one.
Yep.
Float between various options, draw from various options for every single novel that you write. The fourth hard truth is one that a lot of writers don't want to admit to themselves, but they know instinctually.
This video? I'm stopping and pausing it so we can take notes. You're supposed to be taking notes with me, guys. So we can learn together.
It is number 4. The middle is where most stories collapse.
Okay. I'm not, like, there's like 3 directions he could be going with this. The middle is where most stories collapse. Yeah, like, reacts take us usually a long time to get through, Bomb Dropper, because we take the ideas that are presented, such as the middle is where the most stories collapse. And I like to premeditate what's going to happen to see if, like, it's like testing your knowledge, right? If you can predict what's happening, then you have a good understanding and solid, like, foundation of the knowledge. And it's like the idea of if you understand a rule fully and you know why that rule exists, you can break that rule as long as you're, like, following the criteria. Right? Because you're just avoiding reasons why that rule exists, so you can basically just overwrite it. and in this, the middle is where most stories collapse. Now, there's two things I'm thinking of here that he could be saying about this. This means when you get to the midpoint and everything falls apart in your story, like the Order 66 moment, where the story gets flipped on its head, and all of a sudden, what the first half of the book is completely different than the second half of the book. And, like, an example of that is, like, the eclipse in Berserk, right? You've got, like, normal, basically human battles, and then after the eclipse is like, oh my god, now it's fucking demons. I have a fact for you. Alright, bomb dropper, drop it. And then the other one is collapses and fall apart, as in you don't know where you're going from there. And you're like, oh shit, we've hit the middle, but we don't have any direction to go. Like, we kind of just fall off a cliff once we hit the middle. So there's two interpretations that I have from the way that he's presenting this. But I think it's the first one where everything changes around the middle of the book. And that's like the status quo of whatever is the current structure of power is usually uprooted in some way. And either the main character that was in hiding for half of the book is now on top, or the main character that was on top in the half of the book is now hiding. What would happen if your arm and leg was cut off? I would cosplay as Edward Elric without my automail. I mean, nowadays, like, prosthetic limbs are, like, fucking amazing, dude. I just have to wait 17 years to get one on the Canadian healthcare system. Wrong answer. I mean, fair. What's your answer?
So you have to do a lot of work to plan for this middle section of your novel, so it doesn't collapse on you like it does for so many other writers.
Okay, so he is talking about it collapsing as in falling apart. It would hurt, but wear your arm or legs. I'm confused because you said no. Wait, what? I'm so confused. What do you mean it would hurt, but wear your arm or legs? Language barrier is a little rough there, bomb dropper.
Need to divide your middle up into manageable.
Smokey, see you, bro. Have a good one, sir. Thanks for popping in and hanging out. Always a good time, Smokey. Falling, you cut your arm. Where would it hurt? You're saying if you cut your arm off, and then the arm that you cut off, you cut, would that hurt you? Is that what you're asking, bomb dropper? Cause no. It's not attached to your body anymore. You might have phantom sensations, but it wouldn't actually. It's like the thing with the guy, you know, you put your arm in the sleeve and you put another fake arm, and then you, like, get the sensation of, like, touching it, and then your mind thinks that it's your arm, and then you smash it with a hammer, and it's like you feel pain, but you don't. I mean, your whole arm. Yeah, so you cut off your whole arm, right? So your arm's just chilling there. You've got, like, your arm, and then you cut the arm that's not attached to you anymore. Would you feel the pain? No, you wouldn't feel the pain. You might psychologically feel a phantom pain, but you wouldn't actually feel pain. Divide the middle into manageable chunks. This is where we're not even sure, like, is the middle of the book the fall of Garuda and the exile of the adventurers? Is the middle of the book, gathering Atomas and confronting Fafnir? Is the middle of the book assembling the diamond weapon? or discovering the diamond weapon, or the sapphire and the ruby weapon, or the emerald and the ruby weapon, that fact flopped, you didn't understand, and I didn't know how to explain. Okay. It's a write-off. It happens sometimes, Bomb Dropper. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Chunks so you don't get overwhelmed by this huge block of storyline. A good way to divide it into chunks is to have a series of escalating obstacles and then overcoming those obstacles, sort of like a set of stairs. The second thing you want to do in the middle of your novel to help it out is create some sort of midpoint reversal. This can be, say, betrayal.
Shit. Midpoint reversal. Midpoint reversal. And this is where Husai with, because the reason that they're getting a Thomas, right? The reason that they're getting a Thomas is because they don't have a forge anymore. They lose the forge when they get kicked out of the tree. So they can't make, like, the highest grade end game weapons and armor. So they have to go out of their way, and someone, you know, there's like myths of an old dungeon that had been conquered, and it looked like a forge, but no one knew what was going on. But now that the Sky Cities have been activated, a Thomas has also been activated. So there's like all these Sky Cities that have come out of the ground that were old dungeons that had never been found because they were so deep underground. Now they go do these dungeons, and one of them is a Thomas, but they can't get the main forge lit, so they can only do like the smaller forge, and that's where they do artifact armor. And they do all of the artifact armor and weapons, and then they go and confront Fafnir with artifact armor and weapons, and they do, like, you know, a little bit of damage to Fafnir, and Fafnir judges them worthy. And that's the story turnover point, where the information that they reveal during the battle with Fafnir solidifies that they're on the wrong side. And eventually, Fafnir makes a deal with them that he'll light Atomis's flame for them and allow them to create weapons in order to defeat the Monarch. And, you know, he just says, like, not very much, but, like, you know, as much as he kind of knows about the background and stuff like that. So now you have this fantastic ally on your side, and you're like, oh shit. Because, like, in the setting up for the failing of the diamond weapon is Fafnir dying at the end of book 1. It's like, oh shit, we have the ultimate weapon on our side now. Oh shit, the ultimate weapon didn't work. Not again, only, you know, it's not like the diamond weapon's just blown up. It's like they use it to get through the shield. They don't get to throw him into space, but hey, they use it for the shield, to destroy the shield. Good enough, right? So, Husai with a Thomas and artifact armor weapons in tow confronts Fafnir. During this battle, the turnover happens, and Fafnir, now recognizing Husai's potential, lights the true forge of Atomus. What would call a person without a nose? I have no idea, Bomb Dropper.
Put out is create some sort of midpoint reversal. This can be, say, betrayal from a friend. This could be a change of goal or the desire of the protagonist. Or in the middle, you could have some sort of twist which really changes the reader's expectations of the whole story. For instance, I think there's a great example of a reversal in Parasite, which won the Oscar in 2020 for Best Picture. There is a moment when a housekeeper returns to the house, and she reveals there's a whole bunker beneath this house, and a whole other family is living there. It lights the storyline on fire, and really the second half of the entire story is dealing with that revelation. And then my third tip—
nobody knows. Nice, Bomb Dropper.
Is instead of having the middle of your story aim for the climax, which instinctually—
So 3 is what?
Third tip is
aim for the moment before the climax. Aim for the moment before the climax. So we're edging?
The middle of your story aim for the climax, which instinctually I think most writers are thinking that way. I would suggest it aiming at the moment before the climax. This is the moment which is often called, say, Dark Night of the Soul or All is Lost. It's
And we kind of have this earlier on for the personality for Husai. But now Husai has grown stronger, so now it's like a group mentality thing. Oh shit, Book Buyer! Thank you for the raid, Book Buyer! Damn, 3 viewers! You're popping the fuck off, man! I told you, Book Buyer. Next thing you know, you're gonna be going to the moon. Like... I don't think you know how hard book reviews go. Sometimes. I'm so excited to see this happen. True, Raymond Ave. It's gonna be badass as fuck. Guys? I think we found ourselves a new Essentia. I had to stop as my computer was dying. Yeah, that's one of the reasons when I started streaming, like, at the beginning, I was using my old computer, and it was just really bad. I had some chatters, which was really nice. Hell yeah, that's what it's all about, Book Buyer. The writing community is amazing. I love it.
It's the nadir of the story, the very lowest point for your character. And I feel like aiming at that is much more doable for the writer because it's one step before the climax. You don't have to like connect everything in this middle to the climax, but it does get them to the very low point before.
I was reading my book. I got about 2/3 through chapter 2. Oh, hell yeah, Book Buyer. That's gonna, like, of all the writing, the only actually majorly successful, like, YouTube writing is horror. Horror, mystery horror, crime horror. And I think your book kind of falls in that with, like, not horror as in, like, monsters, but horror as in, like, psychological horror. Because it's so fucking powerful. And I can't wait to read chapter 2. So, this is the moment that the Alliance confronts the Monarch. During this scene, the Viceroy... No, maybe actually not even that. Let's just say this is, I don't know if we will do chapter 2 today. I noticed errors while reading it. Okay, well that's up to you, Book Buyer. If you don't think it's ready... Because the climax is the reveal. Okay, so if the climax is the reveal of the Warriors of Light. Holthrin, you know what I've learned is the best way to write overpowered characters and stories over my hundreds of watching and reading action, shonen, and other medias. I would say Holthrin the same way I think it is. Make their ability have some sort of, like, you know, like the stars have to align and the character has to extremely earn the overpoweredness. I think that's the best way to do it. Where it's like they're basically useless, but they're always, like, instead of using their powers, they're using their head. And they're just being smart about things. It's, like I said, like, the story of the guy who thinks he, like, some sort of accident happens, and people think that he has powers, but he doesn't. So he tells people that his powers, or if people know what his powers were, because he figured out what his powers were, and he told someone, and that's what happened to them. So he's like, I have to spend my entire life building a machine to stop my powers from existing. But it's actually, he doesn't have any powers, and he's building technology to unleash powers. So the entire time you think he's building a machine to hold back his powers, but it's actually what he's building is the power, and he's going to take over with it. What do you think about that, Holthrin? I might just fix them now. I have time. You'll still be like 3 hours to finish this video. True! True, book buyer. And if Raymond Dow's here, Raymond, do you have another essay for us? Did you find that, the Neovana or whatever the fuck it was? I can't remember. I can't remember. I just remember it started with an N, right? Hell yeah. It was a name issue. Ah, I see. Okay, so if the climax is the reveal of the Warriors of Light, the moment before the climax is the Viceroy's betrayal. What happened while I left? Nothing so far. We're just talking about if the climax of my book is the reveal of the Warriors of Light, then the betrayal of the Viceroy is the moment before it. The all is lost moment when they go to confront the Monarch, and they're like, well, we have the Viceroy on our side. And the Viceroy's like, yeah, no you don't. Sorry. I won't link it again. I'll just pop in the new chapter to the same document. I have it titled and everything for you. Alright, sounds good. And what do you mean by I can leave it there again? As in, like, repost it? Because I never looked at it. I don't know which one it was, Raymond. Because as far as I know, I hearted them all. Nah, give them as little screen time as possible, because giving them a little screen time, then you're giving a purpose to their power. You are stating that the power is now needed for the plot to continue, because no means is possible. Like, for example, Kenpachi from Bleach, or Escanor from Seven Deadly Sins. Only time they ever show up in the story is when someone needs their asses handed to them. I have some new stuff, too. Awesome. Sounds good, Raymond. Another good one, Hulthrin, is, why am I blanking on this after having this great example? Because it wasn't great. You're right. I mean, Kenpachi and Escanor kind of blow my example out of the water. Oh, Fairy Tail, Guild Arts. Guild Arts in Fairy Tail. That's who I was thinking of. Either that or Igneal. But yeah, you're definitely right, Hulthrin. Can we play WOS sometime? What is WOS, book buyer? Oh, and the other one I was thinking as well is like Shank in One Piece. But I never really watched One Piece, so I don't know if Shank ever really shows up and does anything. Words on stream. I've never played that, book buyer. What is it?
4, you get to the climax or the end of the story. And if you want more help with writing the middle of your story, take my course, Write Your Best Novel. I offer solutions like these are the guide ropes you need to take you through the middle. I talk about how to use plot boxes to help you structure the middle of your story. And I also talk about the most common dangers that you absolutely need to avoid when you're writing the middle. But let's move on to the 5th hard truth when it comes to plotting your book. Plot twists only work when properly set up. I know that sounds a little bit odd. Plot twists.
It's a word game. Plot twists only work when properly set up. True. Shank shows up whenever someone is about to kill Luffy. Lol. Yeah, sounds about right, Halthrin. Sounds about right. Totally fair. Ad breaks. Well, I'm looking at this. Bookbar. I've seen people have this, but I didn't know what it was. Maybe I'll look into it. Good timing. You can look during ad. It's fun. A good break every once in a while. Well, we're not writing today, and we're going straight to Monster Hunter, so, you know, we'll see what happens. We can pop it up and have it. I mean, it'd be great for vocabulary, because I'm terrible with words. I use the same 100 fucking words. So, it's pretty bad. Also good for downtime if you want to build your followers. A lot of people run it while they sleeping. Oh, that might be what you can run when you are sleeping on the 10th. I personally, book buyer, I hate people that put up their stream when they're not there. Like, that personally just turns me off to your stream. Because I'll be like, oh, you're live! And then I'll pop in, and nothing's happening. Like, Hassan! True! Oh my god, that's good. That's fucking good. It does work for me too, but it does work. Oh, I know it works, Book, but I just don't want to do that because I want to have an interactive community that's here to meet up. And this is like book meeting time, you know, like book club time. Like, this is supposed to be like a community venture of experience, right? And we're like experiencing it together and growing together. That's the idea behind the stream, right? So it's like, I have thought about it, and every time I think about it, I'm like, no, because I don't want people coming into the stream and being like, well, he's never here. He's never here. What is this, a sleeping fucking stream? No, I want people that actually want to, and it's like, that's what the Discord is for. If you want a 24/7 interactive space, that's what the Discord is for. The Discord's just dead. I mean, that's something that will take time. Like, my expectation is like 5 years down the line, I'll hit 1,000 followers. Like, that's my expectation. That's my goal. And that's just based on the past. So unless, like, something dramatic happens, it's like, this is my progress. We have enough information over the last year to be able to say that this is my standard progress. All I can do is try to improve that progress over time, but this is graphed the scale of progress, which is absolutely insane when you think about it, because there are so many streamers that I see with like 6,000 followers that have like 12 viewers. I'm like, if I had 6,000 followers, like, extrapolating between actual followers and like concurrent community members, like people that show up every day, like we only have like maybe 60 real followers. And of those 60 followers, like there's like 20 people that like I expect to see over a period of time. Like Smokey, Raymond Dow, Toe Connoisseur. I mean, Raymond's been here a lot more frequently, so I'm very happy for Raymond that you're able to pop in more. But there's always people that just like pop in every now and then, once and again. But over the last week, I mean, we've got what? We had Coder Pillar yesterday. Have some like 1,000 to 3,000 viewers, and 2 years after they have like 60. Zoinko's 50 accounts. Yeah, someone like Zoinko. We got Shayla within the last week. We gained. I don't know about Coder Pillar. I mean, he popped in, joined the Discord, but you know he might just be in and out. It is what it is, right? We are Legion. True, I'm glad I have you to help me think about these things. I mean, like I said, I'm here to facilitate thought and express, like, perspective. And I think putting things into perspective from different angles is extremely important to do. And I don't think people do it enough, or people are just not good at doing it. And apparently I'm good at doing it, so that's what I try to do. Because you want to do what you're good at, but you also want to work on what you're bad at. Because I'm impulsive. So I have 3 steps. My initial emotional reaction, my first thought, and then my second draft, which is a critical thought. If I am not critically thinking about something, I don't want to present it as an idea. Like, if it's meaningful, you know? Like, you don't want to say something stupid that you didn't think through. Right? If we're just talking, like, story ideas, that's completely different. But if we're talking, like, an actual opinion about something, like, don't say, oh, this is my opinion about something. Like, if someone says, well, what's your opinion about this? And you go, oh, this is my opinion. You should be like, okay, well, there's the first thought. Okay, that's what I shouldn't say. Then there's the... why do I think that? Okay, that's not true, actually, so let's change. Yeah, okay, this is actually our position. That makes sense, yeah, because you gotta hold it up to multiple different things. You say, well, I do this, and then someone says a different scenario, and you say that, and it's like, well, you don't have any foundation, right? I shouldn't say, lol, that doesn't always work for me. I mean, that's fair, it doesn't always work for me either, but like I said, I am the worst with the straw that broke the camel's back, where I will just flip out on some random person for no reason over nothing, because it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And it can be the smallest irritating thing to me that can set me off. It's fucking bad. But I warn people. I try to, when I know I'm around that point. So plot twists only work when properly set up. Okay.
Only work when properly set up. I know that sounds a little bit obvious, but hey, a lot of writers mess up on this. So you really need to pay attention and make sure that your story feels inevitable, not just surprising. So I'm going to give you 2 examples of plot twists. One is a great example, and the other one's a terrible example. For a good example, let's look at...
I want to eat again. I'll be back in like 1 hour, I guess. Yeah, that's probably... I'm not interesting in this video this time. Oh, that's okay, book buyer. It's all good. No worries.
Sense. There are all sorts of clues that hint at what the twist might be.
Yeah. The kid says, like there's so many different things. This is such a great example.
Only interacts with Cole through the whole movie. He is always wearing the same clothes. And his wife treats him like he's not even there. That's why rewatching the film is so rewarding, because you see all of that stuff now that you know the twist.
That's the idea behind my book. Is like The Sixth Sense or Shutter Island or stuff like that, where it's like you've read through it and then you have to go, holy shit, wait, what? Like Fight Club. And you go like, wait, what? And then you have to go back and read it and notice all of the things that you almost like just ignored.
the end. But for an example of an absolutely terrible plot twist, let's look at the movie Remember Me with Robert Pattinson. So this whole storyline is a normal romance, and then in the very last minute or so of the movie, you see a chalkboard with the date written, and it's 9/11. And he is up in the Twin Towers looking out the window, and you realize, oh, he's gonna die. Someone described this ending as being rickrolled by 9/11, which I think is such an apt description. There was a hidden date. Audiences expected this was 2010 and not 2001. The Twin Towers were never shown in the film, so you really weren't building up to it in any way. And also, this really was a romance. So it's a bit of a genre twist to say at the end, like, oh, surprise, like, I'm bringing this huge historical event to end the romantic story. Ultimately, this is exploiting a historical event to try to give a sense of gravitas to the story, make it seem like, oh, this is really serious. And it really didn't work on any level. I got some great examples for this next point about plot, and we're looking at number 6, plot depends on pacing contrasts. So you
Okay. Plot depends on pacing contrasts. All right, let's
So
hear
you
about it.
guys probably instinctually understand how important pacing is to your plot. You could have the best plot in the world, and yet if you don't pace it properly, it's gonna fall apart. Pacing is just the speed at which your plot unfolds. And I just wanna say that fast-paced, slow-paced isn't as important as the contrast between pacing. What I'll see less frequently as an editor is sometimes I'll see 3 chapters in a row with just non-stop action. And the reader doesn't have any space to even take a breath.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things is like you need the downtime in order to absorb what's happened. And doing that through your characters and having your characters absorb what just happened is a super easy way for the reader to flow into absorbing what just happened. So you're just like, wait, what? You gotta go back and read. Wait, what happened? Huh? What the fuck? What's going on? I'm so... Oh, like that's literally the response I want from people.
Reflect or pause for a moment. So what you're really looking for in a storyline is to have moments with a super high octane pace and then contrast that with a more reflective tortoise style pace. And
Followed by a what could we call this? I'm just gonna call it absorption. Take in the events that just happened. Slow pace to really press it into the reader. The consequences and depth of the event that just happened. So, like, for instance, you have this huge, massive event in Chapter 1 that's, like, all action and people dying and freaking out and shit. And then Chapter 2 is, like, the forefront of the chapter is all about the inauguration and, you know, the passing of power and the new shift of leadership around the tree. But the subplot in the background is Husai trying to silently figure this thing out while it's just looming over his head. And he's sitting there like, what about this, and what about that, and what about this, and what about that? So he's absorbing all of the information and analyzing like what's happening and connecting the dots, all the while the boring stuff is happening in Chapter 2. And that's how you flow through Chapter 1 to Chapter 2. And then Chapter 3 is a little bit of action mixed with a little bit of exposition. Because he has to fight himself, which then you see that he is actually a human. Because it's a shade of himself. to prove that he's worthy, that he can overcome himself, essentially. And it's literally just a copy of him. So he has to be better than himself in order to prove himself to be better. Right?
And you know what does this really well? John Wick. In the very first John Wick, he has this crazy intense shootout in this strobe light dance hall, and then a very quiet, measured conversation in the Continental. In John Wick 2, there is a crazy intense catacomb chase and fight scene, and then the pace slows down and he has a conversation with the Bowery King. And then in John Wick 3, you have a fast-paced knife fight in the Antiques Weapon Museum, and then John seeks sanctuary with Sofia in Casablanca. A lot slower pace. Also, remember that movies run on clock time pretty much all the time. While when you're writing a book, you even have more latitude to slow down the pace and have 1 second take 2 pages, and then to speed up the pace and race through a particular scene. So just remember your pacing superpowers as a novelist. You really had an infinite amount of options, much more than a film does. The 7th hard truth about plotting is that plot
dictates your theme. Channel 1, Channel 2. Which one do you choose? Ah, shit, I saw this great meme today. I think it was in Rotranch? Hold on, let me check. This shit was great. The fuck? Here it is. Let's talk about the real victims of social media culture. Fucking cats! They're the ones who get abused the most. Oh my god. Alright, number 7. Plot dictates your theme.
dictates your theme. Ideally, your story's meaning should be revealed through the plot.
Story's meaning should be discovered through the plot. What is the meaning of the story? The meaning of the story is information is power. And the more information you have, the more power you have. But that power is over yourself. Like, the more you know about the world, the more you can affect it, the more you can change it, the more you can make it work for you. Right? And the more you understand yourself, the more you can... How do you say it? It's like... I guess... I'm just going to say, satisfy yourself. It's not the greatest wording, but satisfy yourself. It's the best I got. It's like, you know, you're... Oh, knowing yourself reveals your needs. Character wants versus needs. The more you know about yourself, the closer you can get to finding out what you need. Boom. Easy.
itself. Not necessarily by you explicitly saying through the character or through the omniscient narrator, like, hey, this is the meaning of the story. Now, for an example of this, I'm actually gonna go to children's picture books. I don't know how many of you on this channel know this, but since 2017, I've edited more than 1,000 children's picture books, and it's been a joy. I love it. But sometimes what I would see is that, say the author wrote a really beautiful story about a kid getting picked on by the bully, and then the bully realizing that what they did was wrong. And then at the end of that book, the author would say, so don't be a bully. It's mean. Like, they would say something very explicit, like, just in case you missed it, like, this is the point of the story. And what I would usually counsel them is, look, that sort of explicit sermonizing at the end of a story, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work for
Yeah, guys, okay, after all of this is said and done, it's the duality of reality. The duality of good and evil. That good people do bad things and bad people do good things. Oh, you might be done the video faster than I thought. Maybe, I don't know, we're almost on to the last one. But, you never know, that one point might have a lot to it, right? I haven't, like... These haven't put too much on the story. Like, when we're talking more about the story, we tend to speed running. I'm not sure about faster than you think, but stream's been going for close to 2.5 hours now. Really? No, it's only been going for 2 hours. 2 hours and 1 minute. Well, it's not 3 o'clock yet. There's no way. Not bad. Not 1.5. Well, we had the hiccup, so it says whatever time it is, but it's 2:31 a.m. and I started at 12:30. Didn't you refresh at 50 minutes? No, it was 37 minutes, Beezus. It was like 37 or something like that. I can look at how big the file is for it. Yeah, 37 minutes and 49 seconds is when we outed. Just after the ad break. Oh, I missed the hiccup. Yeah. The hiccup!
For a couple different reasons. One is that you're not trusting the story itself. Story is very powerful.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, actually the stream has been going for days. There you go, Raymond Dow. That's very true. Let's see. It's been going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. The stream has been going for 5 days, guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because in 5 different places in the world, it's changed from Sunday to Monday while the stream has been live.
And there is nearly 0 children out there who will read a story about a bully learning that they've done something wrong and not think, oh, like, bullying's bad.
Yeah, if they don't think bullying's bad from that, telling them that bullying's bad is going to be actually worse, because they're going to be like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to go bully someone now. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're also not trusting the reader. Like, you need to trust the reader to be able to pick up on these things. You need to trust the intelligence of the reader to say that, like, if I have set this up properly, you should notice these things. And if you miss these things when the reveal comes, you'll remember them and be like, oh, I'm so dumb! How did I not see that?
I shouldn't do that. You want to be able to trust the mechanism of story to communicate the truth that you're trying to get across. It's really the reason why you're writing a novel and not a nonfiction book, right? If you just want to say it explicitly...
Kids reading the book like, what the fuck is this nerd shit? I want Coco Melon, I want pictures!
Nonfiction book about that topic. But no, you're writing a novel because you want to explore characters and a world, and meaning will come out of that.
Yep.
The theme will emerge organically from the storyline. Now, I'm not saying that you can never have a character like explicitly say the theme in dialogue. Of course not. But it's usually a better idea to let the story tell the theme rather than spending, I don't know, a couple pages of someone monologuing about it. And the last hard truth that we're going to get to in this video is about endings, which seems very proper.
Endings.
It's number 8. Endings need
both resolution and resonance. So, the resolution of ours is Gaia versus Anima resolution. Monarch. It mirrors Kusai versus Monarch. And the resonance is fact that our moon could be Gaia's home planet. That's more for novels and not all the time, too. Short stories can just end and leave you, like, mid-action. Yeah, that's kind of the point of short stories. Is like, you zoom in on an event and then you leave. That's usually how I treat short stories. Especially with the twists and everything, leave you with that, oh, shit moment, and that's the end of the story. Whereas that might be the initiating story for, like, for instance, like, Nepotism Unleashed. You could go straight into, like, a media war over, like, the film itself and, like, you know, having to get a bunch of new presidents, how all the presidents are dead, you know, maybe the Middle East is thinking of this as a terror attack and they're going to retaliate against the states. Like, you could literally write an entire book with that being the instigating factor of it. So that's my resolution and resonance. Let's see what if we pass.
Both resolution and resonance. What most writers think about when they're working on their ending is offering resolution for all the plots and all the subplots out there. That's great. That's great. What I'm trying to get you to do is not to forget about resonance. Resonance is really about giving the reader something thoughtful to chew on at the end of a book. And if you end with 100% plot,
what happens when everyone dies? What is consciousness? Consciousness is fundamental, is actually like that's another one of the main themes, is the idea that consciousness is fundamental, which means consciousness, like energy, cannot be destroyed. It can only return to its source. So even if you die, you're always immortalized through your consciousness, your greater ego, your greater self, the eternal you, essentially. Whether that's through, like, reincarnation, how you send your spirit or your consciousness back out into something after returning to the source. It's an interesting theory. It's what I believe, Beezus. It's what I actually thoroughly believe, is that consciousness is fundamental and that consciousness creates reality, and that the first consciousness is the idea of God that created the universe. What came first, God or the universe? I think God came first, and it was just a single consciousness. And thought sparked creation. Completely unprovable, but that's what I've basically boiled down to the most likely, from what I know. I don't know how the universe could even come into existence on its own. The fact that if you know anything about quantum mechanics and you understand that all, like, this is the best way I could describe it. So think of, there's a wave, right? This would be it's called the Higgs field. And this is baseline existence. It is the canvas through which reality can be painted on. When the Higgs field does this, This is a wave function collapse. And what that is a particle. So as the Higgs field does this and collapses, it creates reality, but the only way to collapse is through consciousness. Only consciousness, as far as we know, can collapse the Higgs field and create particles. So via this, consciousness had to have come first. But that's just one theory, right? It's just a theory. It's just one theory. Other things explain other things. But for me, this has the most powerful evidence. And it's Occam's razor. The most simple answer is the most correct answer. Sure, but all these particles have either existed for eternity, which doesn't make sense to me, or something that has been around for eternity created them. I don't know if that was mid-ad break there, Beezus, so... Fuck ads. Ads are the worst. They just interrupt and fuck up the stream at every point in time. It's so bad. It's one of the ideas of quantum. The, epistemological one. Yeah. But there's like 10 or 15 different theories, and they all explain it. I just think this is the most basic. Consciousness collapsed Higgs field. The collapsed Higgs field through consciousness weaves creation of physical, what we would consider physical matter. But that's only just what we know and what we've discovered. Also, what the fuck, Twitch? What word did I use? Why? What did Twitch do? But yeah, I just find that very, like, you know how people say, don't write an agenda? Write your ideas? And the difference between, like, pushing an agenda and writing my ideas into the book, I have no idea what you said because of the ads. Shit. Ads. Okay, then let's start, let yeah, right, shit on this site. True. Okay, so let's do this. We have this. This is the base Higgs field. This is the collapse of the field. And over time, the field looks like this because of the amount of collapses. But this initial collapse can, as far as we know, can only be created through consciousness. So, if the Higgs field is the underlying reality and canvas that particles and reality exist on, i.e. direct space-time, and the only way to get a particle is to have that Higgs field collapse, and the only way that we know of to have the Higgs field collapse is through consciousness and thought, then via the most basic logic, consciousness has had to have created reality. But again, there are 10, 15, 20 different theories that all, you know, culminate in their own ways, and this is very, very basically breaking it down. But I do think this has the least amount of steps, and Occam's razor, that's what I'm going with. But then the question becomes, oh, well, what created consciousness? Which is an entirely new spectrum of thought and idea. Bueno hermano! Mepisalanep. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, good sir? Welcome, welcome. How are you? Are you a writer, perchance? Do you enjoy stories? Are you a purveyor of greatness? Something has been around for eternity, and I just don't know what it was. Exactly, Beezus, but eternity is still a human thought construct, right? A basic form of particles and matter doesn't make sense to me. Even down to, like, quarks and, like, spin particle theory, color theory, and all of that. It's so much information to know when it comes to quantum mechanics, and we still don't understand, like, the bridge between, normal physics. Like, the best way to describe it, the best way I can describe it is like this. It's like a scale meter. So, let's say this is a table. What happens if you put water on this table? And then we'll draw, like, the side view of the table, right? So that's a top view, and then this is a side view of the table, right? And this would be the water. This is what we would consider general relativity and general physics. When we go down to the micro scale, and we do this experiment again, so this is a top view and this is a side view, and this is water. Do you see the difference? We cannot connect the dots in quantum mechanics between these two forms. In general relativity, we know it as water tension or surface tension. And that's what at the small scales, that's what creates droplets of water. So the more scale you go down to, the more of this bubble effect with surface tension that you get. And that's the closest way I could describe the difference between the macro scale and micro scale of general relativity and quantum mechanics. We don't understand what surface tension is between quantum mechanics and general relativity. If we could understand what surface tension was and explain that that was surface tension, that would literally combine a theory of everything. And a theory of everything will get you a Nobel Prize. Nobody knows what it is, we just know that it exists because we can observe the difference. But we cannot logically say what causes that difference and where that gap differentiates. It's like you could go down to, let's say, times 1,000 and times like 1,000 minus like the tiniest bit. And it's like the straw that broke the camel's back. How far down scale can you go before the water's flat and surface tension takes over? And we can't find that gap. It's like it just jumps. It's like, okay, here's a particle. Boom. Okay, here's quarks. There's no gap. Like we don't have a way to get between the two. I doubt we're anywhere on the right track to what actually happened, considering how little we actually know about the universe. Exactly, Beezus. And if consciousness interferes with it, you'd never theory of everything or pure reductionism, a modern form of metaphysics and theology. Well, technically, it's not even that far if you look at...
Welcome to a talk stories.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because this just came out, like, what, a couple days ago? 3 days ago. Are the fundamental constants finely tuned? And this talks specifically about reductionism. Where there's a graph somewhere in here. I think it's between these two. Yeah, so this is like the size and scale of things. So if you look at like literally just like inside the human body, for instance.
Theory, with theories describing larger scales and lower energies being coarse grainings of deeper theories. But all of those so-called effective theories are entirely defined by the theory at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
At least, that's how the world works in the reductionist paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
We like to call the more coarse-grained, the more zoomed-out, more emergent theory the infrared.
Yeah, it's like the difference between the infrared theory and the ultraviolet theory. One is derived out of the other, but we don't understand like reality's true ultraviolet theory. We understand the infrared that comes from it, but we don't understand the underlying UV theory that causes the infrared theory to happen. Black-Eyed Chicken, welcome, welcome. How's it going? I love it when our discussions on plot points and ideas turns into a discussion about quantum mechanics and reductionism. Everything is just speculation based on our perception of how things work from our world. Very true. That's another thing, Beezus, is it's all... your brain has the most powerful ability to filter things out. And you can come to, like, the most... It's just, physicalism. Yes, but that, Raymond, that's only on the reductionism scale. Like, if you're talking about the idea of pure reductionism. There are other theories that are outside the box of reductionism, which is like the idea that there is no connecting force between quantum and modern or general. And that it's the ultimate question of, at the end of the day, what is the brain and what is the mind? Is the mind a separate piece of the brain? Does the mind come from the brain? Could the mind exist without the brain? Emergentism. Exactly. Exactly. So it depends on the true fundamental nature. And like I said, I believe that the true fundamental nature that causes everything to be so weird and so odd and so fucked up, yet so finely tuned, is because fundamentally the only thing that actually exists is consciousness. Everything else is illusion. The only actual reality is consciousness. Everything else is made up. Everything else is a dream. Everything else is placing yourself inside of a confined space in order to manage the entirety of the information that is being sent to you. That's where what I believe, what happens in the, is that this ends up becoming philosophy. Exactly, Raymond. It's just, monism. Well, for me, it's the idea of the greater self, the ego, the everything. So think about the idea of, like, watching a movie, right? So think of all the things that have to take place before that movie is released in theaters and on DVD and is like a final product. Your consciousness and your experience of reality is only that movie. You would love Hegel. Maybe I'll have to look into it. I don't know. I don't read a lot of philosophy and stuff like that. I like to just have my own ideas, and wherever those come from, if people compare me to other people, I just think of that as a compliment. But like I said, I just like to take good ideas. Fuck the bad ideas. Think about the idea, not the person. Right? So I think that's a lot more important. But if you're going to the point of consciousness itself is the entirety of the events leading up to and the making of that movie. Every scene that was cut, every time the camera was recorded, every time the actors weren't acting and they were just doing their own thing when the shooting wasn't happening. In the beginning, when the drafting is happening and the story is being developed, before we even have a full storyboard, before we have a screenplay, like just like, are you thinking about the actors before you write the story, or are you thinking about the actors during the story? It's like, are you building the story around an actor, or are you waiting for an actor to fall into that character? Like, there are so many different things, and your single pinpoint consciousness experience is simply the end result movie. You don't experience anything else. And I think that's what we're missing, is the in-between moments of consciousness that we do not experience on a personal, individual level. But I believe when your consciousness leaves your physical form and is, like, returns to the source, essentially, that is the ultimate of, like in Rick and Morty, of you waking up from Roy and being like, holy fuck, what the hell? Okay, I'm putting another quarter in, boys. Like, that's how I feel about it. And that's why I think, like, the idea of, like, reincarnation and stuff like that is like, combined with it all. It's like, all of these ideas are valid because they have inklings of themselves, but there's a way that they all twist together, and that's through the fundamentalness of consciousness. And that's why consciousness is literally what facilitates magic in this world. So it's like, that's the very basis of it. And then you add the morals and ethics of, like, a limited time paradise versus an eternal torture. And the value of life itself. And bring all of that together into the duality of good and evil. And that's pretty much the theme and premise of my book. So yeah, that plot point actually took a long time.
At the end of your novel, you're gonna leave the reader unsatisfied. And a great example
And
of this...
and that's resonance, right? I've been building up the entire story that consciousness is fundamental, and in the end, when all of the characters die, when the planet blows up, you're not unsatisfied with the resolution, because the resonance leads you into the knowing of that all of these characters are completely fine, and specifically Husai is fine, and you're super amazingly glad that Gaia refused to destroy his consciousness, because he wouldn't be here in the final moments to witness this grand escapade if she had destroyed his consciousness. And it's such a powerful moment of him putting his arm on her shoulder, being like, I am here with you. You were right all along. And that's what that gesture is supposed to symbolize. And then it's just like the zoom out of every character, everyone there, all of them standing there ready to go. It's just like, oh, that heartfeltness of like, oh my god, they're good. Even after everything, they're still gonna be able to do it. But even their greatest win is only holding Anima at bay. A true win could never truly exist. They would never destroy the beast. They would only sacrifice themselves and their consciousnesses to make sure that the rest of existence doesn't get destroyed.
Would be No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. And I'm going to be talking about the book here, not the movie. You would
movie
think
was
that
terrible.
Such a action-oriented plot would end with a lot of action. But no, it actually ends in ruminating. In the end of this book, the sheriff has two dreams. And the dreams are really about disillusionment with justice. They are about the nature of violence, how cyclical it is and how inescapable it is. And it's really letting this old sheriff challenge us with what he's learned throughout his life and how he thinks about the world now that he's been through all these events. And this teaches us one very important thing about plot. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for your plot is just to step away from the plot twists and all the plot escalation and all the plotty plot stuff, and instead just take a moment to pause, to slow down the pacing, to have characters think, to have characters ruminate, to have characters wrestle with the very stuff that makes us human. Great plotting allows for breaks from...
I think that's pretty much how we end it, isn't it? So I think that's pretty good, guys. I think we hit the nail on the fucking head with this one.
More plot-centric parts of your story. It allows breathers. And sometimes a great place for that breather is at the very end of your book. I hope those 8 truths help you as you are plotting your novel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And that is kind of like, you know how a lot of books have like wrap-up moments? I fucking... Like for instance with like Aragon, you finish the book after Galbatorix dies, and there's like 4 chapters left to the book. I'm like, the main enemy's dead. The fuck do I care about the book anymore for? That's why I never read past that point because I'm like, well, the main enemy's dead. The fuck else could there be? And I was just done. I was just over it. Boom. Done. Fuck it. Don't care. Ending's super important. And the fact that it's like the destruction of the planet and the idea that like one sentence of the arrow going across the cosmos. I really want to emphasize the time scale that is. That it is millennia, billions, if not a trillion years that it takes that arrow to travel across existence and hit Anima. And then you finally have the closure of, oh my god, it hit. We are inside of Anima's domain. We're inside of its consciousness. We have molded the consciousness together. And one of the main things that I'm working on with how to work with this is the idea that consciousness affects reality, so reality can affect consciousness. So that's the reason, and like the consciousness going back to its source and understanding how that happens and like the energy output of it. That's why they had to use the sun in order to facilitate enough energy to be able to combine Gaia's consciousness with Anima. No, it just goes to the next one and then I paused it. So, you actually are just on time, book buyer. We just finished. So now, are you ready with your book? The book with books. You're a book. Give me a minute. No worries. So Raymond, did you post anything in the Discord? Let's see here. You did. Let's do this. All right. Mobius. Yes. Okay, this is the one. This is the one. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna open Monster Hunter just to make sure that there isn't any shader issues. Because I was just thinking, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna take like 10 minutes for the fucking shaders, isn't it? So just make sure we can get into the game once we're ready. No, Smokey, we gotta read people's work, but I want to make sure that the game is getting ready. Because I'm not sure if we're gonna need to update shaders or not. Yes, see, I was right. Shaders. Okay, document is updated. Hell yeah, alright. So we're going to read Raymond Dow's, and then we'll read yours book, but we got to take a toke first. All about the tokes. Oh, what the hell? True. Alright. Are you ready, Raymond? I'm ready. Mobius as graphic epigon. Alright. I will take your word for it, Raymond. Mobius rocks. Okay. Jean Giraud, 1938-2012, worked under two names. Giraud for his classic Western work, and Mobius for his more experimental, fantastical, or visionary output. The distinction is editorial rather than substantial. In both cases, it was always the same. A draftsman, not a writer, philosopher, nor a world-building demiurge. A visual artist of extraordinary technique, capable of translating others' narrative obsessions into images. Jean Giraud, who appeared in 1963 with Fort Navajo Editions Dargard, co-created with Jean-Michel Charlet, launched the saga of Lieutenant Blueberry, a French Western that mimics the codes of the American classical Western. The series became central in Franco-Belgian comics between La Mine de Lamande, Perdue, 1972, and Le Spectre aux Belles d'Or, 1974. Giraud reached a graphic command reminiscent of his mentor Giget. But there was still no Mobius, only technique, professionalism, and perfect visual assimilation. Giraud drew what was expected of him, no more, no less. The pseudonym Mobius first appeared in Harakiri, 1963, but it was solidified with Arzuk, Metal Hurlant, 1975, a series of wordless sci-fi vignettes where the drawing floats in a dreamlike atmosphere. Here begins the hallmark style. Empty perspectives, biomorphic architecture, wandering figures. But this aesthetic did not emerge in a vacuum. It was a product of the Metal Hurlant environment, a magazine founded in 1974 by Jean-Pierre Diante, Philip Drulet, Bernard Farkas, and Giraud himself. Under the publishing house Les Humanoids Associés, the Mobius aesthetic is part of a larger movement. It's not an ex nihilo invention. The strongest point in his career came in 1976 with The Long Tomorrow, written by Dan O'Byrne, yes, the screenwriter of Alien. Published in two parts in Metal Hurlant number 7 and 8, 1976-1977. This comic, not the Inkle, is the true foundational work of European visual cyberpunk. Wet streets, overlapping structures, neon, smog, and urban chaos of multiple layers. Oh, that's cool. Ridley Scott expectedly acknowledged The Long Tomorrow as an influence for Blade Runner, 1982. William Gibson did the same for Necromancer, 1984. The Inkle, Les Humanoids Associés, 1981-1988, written by Alejandro Jodorowsky, is an esoteric epic disguised as space opera. Mobius is often credited with a philosophical depth that actually belongs to Dorowski script. What's up, 13? How's it going? We are reading about a painter and his philosophy, and how he pushed the boundaries of like genres and created entirely new concepts in like the scope of art, essentially. At least that's what I'm getting from this. Mobius is often some French comics. Yeah, if you want to put it basically, Raymond, but that's not interesting.
Get up, you fat fuck, and touch your toes.
Ah, for
I know you
fuck's
can't, try
sakes.
anyways. Don't fall over though.
Oh god! Why do you guys do this to me? Why? It's so brutal. I can't wait till I can touch my toes, guys. It's been 30 years and I still can't touch my toes. How many more years do I need before I can touch my toes? We're like 8 inches away, guys. We're like 8 inches away. 2 inches away from my fucking kneecaps exploding.
Nice try, better luck.
Yeah, I wish my arms were longer.
Chair, you lazy ass shit streamer.
Oh, true. 8 inches, you wish. No, book buyer, I want to take 8 inches. That's what I meant by that, not have 8 inches. What am I going to do with 8 inches? It's useless. Doing amazing. The last night I've beaten the 2K words challenge, hitting 2,124 words and finished chapter 4. Fuck yeah, 13. That's what it's all about, brother. We're not writing today because we're trying to have shorter streams. What a coincidence. Ads. Fuck ads. Bullshit. Fucking ads. How do we keep getting ads, guys? This isn't fair. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to put you in this position. I swear. It was never my intention! Speaking of stretching, I should do some as well. Just kill me, Twitch. Just kill me. Look at this, Smokey. These are the best buds I've seen in such a long time. Like, fucking look at this shit, bro. It's fucking gorgeous. I still touch my toes. I was blowing smoke before this. True. Yeah, because usually we get like the same stuff, which is like all bunch of like blueberry buds, but it had amnesia in the name, so I had to buy it. It was actually cheaper than the other stuff. It's only like 94 bucks. Other stuff's like 98. And I also spread my legs and lay on the ground between them. Yeah, see, I can like if these are my legs, like that's probably about as far as I could go. Weeks ago, I was explaining to my stoner friends that it's now legal in the country. They didn't believe me. I had to show them the law. Well, I mean, if you can buy it in store, Smokey, I think that's pretty much about it, right? Like, if it's like an actual store and it's not like, you know, a shed, or like a side business off of the, you know, the pawn shop guy says that he's got some stuff in the other room. Yeah, I don't know, but buying straight from a dispensary, I mean, I was really lucky because my main weed dealer was also my best friend. So, you're like, what the fuck, since when? Hasn't weed been legal for like 2 or 3 years, Raymond? Like, it's been legal here in Canada for like 5 years? 6 years, maybe? So you just smells like weed all the time now. There's more dispensaries in my city than doctor's offices. 3-ish years. I've only been buying weed legally since I moved to Alberta, which is about 3 years ago. But I don't know before that, because I just used my weed dealer. 7 years for Canada. Yeah, even when it was legal, I was still using my weed dealer. Because we didn't have a dispensary in our town. Which is fucked up. California's been legal for quite a bit now. Yeah. Super nice. Cannabis is non-medical. Recreational use has been legal in Canada since October 2018 when the Cannabis Act came into force. That's when I voted! And then we got fucking Trudeau. Oh, I gotta show you guys this. Before we continue, I gotta show you guys this because it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. Let's go. Should be here. Where are you? Abandoned films. Raymond's story today, and books. So Raymond's an essay, and book is chapter 2.
He's sorry for being sorry. He applauds government overreach, thinking it's still not enough. He's never raised his voice, unless it's about hockey or milk in bags. He has strong opinions on ketchup chips, and no one's ever dared disagree. He gave his kid maple syrup instead of cough medicine, and it worked. He's been taxed for breathing, fined for shoveling his own sidewalk, and told the carbon in his Timbit is a national threat. But as long as he's got a Molson in hand and the Stanley Cup playoffs on TV, he just nods politely and says, "Beauty, eh?" He brags about how good the Canadian healthcare system is, but has to wait 3 years to see a specialist. He apologized during sex, twice, for the same thrust. He still believes Justin Trudeau's father was Pierre Trudeau. He puts himself into custody for having impolite thoughts. He winces when people pronounce the second T in Toronto. If he gets mistaken for an American, he corrects them while also apologizing. He once got his bank account frozen for donating to a protest and says, "Beauty, eh?" He goes to live in Arizona every March and tells the locals, "Your country is messed up, eh?" He is the most Canadian man in the world.
I don't always drink, but when I do, it's Tim Hortons surrounded by Pajeets. Stay gaslit, my friends.
So fucking accurate. I fucking love it. This is a different story. The other is on the back burner for now. One where she was at first doing the fertility ritual, and the other chapter where it was like her origin story. Oh, this is the one with the daughter to the king? I'm not even sure if that's the same backstory. He's talking about the very first time with Hua being sold. I mean, it's technically still is Hua but it's completely different. I think he's talking about Hua book. But Hua is now Angshan. But in that story, she was like 16 when she was being sold off. But I'm not sure it's supposed to be a part and a version that's just morphed from the old story, or if you just took the name and made a completely new story. But I do remember in your original chapter 1, she did look into the pool and remember the name Hua But I know you changed that in the new revision of chapter 1. It's a good thing, book. It doesn't matter. It's a good thing. Seems like I missed out on chapter 1 of your new story then. Yeah, we read that one yesterday. It was so good! Oh, fuck, it was so good! It was so dark and fucked up. It's in the Discord. You should be able to pop up and read it, Beezus. Mobius is often credited with a philosophical depth that actually belongs to Jodorowsky's script. The issue is that his visual style softens what, written by someone else, would be pure symbolic nonsense. No, I took chapter 1 out. I can add it back in, though. Oh, I don't know why you would... Oh, because it's the same file. That makes sense, yeah. True. You can just keep adding to them, and I can scroll down to the next chapter book. If you want to put them all in the same thing so other people can read them easily. Or just put a completely separate link for the other ones in versions. The artistic merit is undeniable, but the script is saturated with recycled concepts from Jodorowsky's never-filmed Dune in 1975-77, mixed with a personal mythology closer to Carlos Castaneda than to Jung. And here's where the confusion begins. People attribute Jodorowsky's idea to Mobius. The truth is that Mobius simply translated those ideas into a clean, almost minimalist aesthetic that conceals the, at times, esoteric weight of the content. When Mobius works without a Jodorowsky or an O'Bannon, his own obsessions, as seen, for example, in Le Monde de Edena, 1983-2001, drift toward a superficial spirituality marked with New Age trends of the 1980s. I made tabs labeled Chapter 1 and 2. Okay, cool. In 1988, Stan Lee and Mobius collaborated on Silver Surfer, Parable. Marvel Comics. A 2-issue miniseries attempting to be philosophical and critical of religious power. The result is uneven. Stan Lee writes with mystical clumsiness, and Mobius draws with excessive cleanliness that fits neither the Marvel tone nor his own. The interesting thing is that this work proves Mobius doesn't work in every context. Not everything is beautified by his touch. Without a strong conceptual world, his line becomes decorative. Mobius was, and remains, the finest European illustrator of his time, in the strictest technical sense, a visual translator in the service of a powerful script. His talent didn't lie in intervening in inventing worlds, but in giving visible form to the worlds others imagined. Sometimes he elevated them. Wait. What? Nope, that's not the right one. If you upload it, it always is when put into note. Where am I? Sometimes he elevated them, other times he saved them from ridicule. Other times he saved them from ridicule, but rarely did he build them from scratch. The confusion between Mobius and his writers has given rise to a mythology that paints him as a prophet or visual philosopher, but his true strength lay elsewhere: absolute plasticity, mastery of the line, visual intelligence without ego. Like the best Renaissance artisans, what he did was put his hand at the service of something greater than himself. That's why his best works aren't by Mobius, they're with Mobius. And there's nothing unworthy in that. True! The "where am I" sounded so real. Oh shit, guys, I don't know where I am. What's going on? Ah! Oh shit. All of the new content. Anyone reading chapter 1 and getting confused should look at glossary now. Would love the Inkle. Amazing comic. I've never heard of it. Let's see. Deconstruction, the Inkle. Damn! That goes fucking hard, dude. Definitely way ahead of his time. Hell yeah, dude. That's what it's all about. Okay, now I have the whole thing, love it to death. Hell yeah. Book. I don't see... Oh, wait, is it the same one? Ah, here we go. Okay, let's go to the glossary. Shimu, a senior female monastic title, often used for a nun of high rank or a mentor. In this setting, it could denote authority, possibly equivalent to Reverend Mother or head of the nunnery. Nigu, a Buddhist nun. In this context, they serve as enforcers and caretakers, typically harsh and disciplined. Shije, literally elder sister, in a monastic or training setting, used respectfully for senior apprentices or nuns. Shije Rong is a named enforcer figure. Shanxi, literally virtuous temple, used here to describe the monastic institution, may refer more broadly to the order or its spiritual ideals. Okay, cool. Super excited for this shit, guys. It's gonna be fucking badass. It's gonna be badass. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's fucking get to it. Okay. The taste of thick porridge still clung to Angshan's tongue, bitter with unspoken herbs. It was the same every morning, now, lukewarm and dense, with a cloying aftertaste of iron and something chalky. The first time they forced it between her lips, she had gagged and nearly choked. After that, the apprentice nuns began using cloth straps to hold her down, pinching her nose until she swallowed in panicked gulps. She no longer resisted, not because she accepted it, but because the effort had drained from her. Her limbs had grown heavier since the suicide attempt, her thoughts slower, like walking through fog with no end. She didn't cry anymore. She had nothing left to cry with. Each day began and ended without words. No one explained why she was being cleaned, why she was fed such rich food when hunger had once been a weapon, or why the rough silk was considered good enough for someone like her. Rue was always nearby. The young apprentice nun was no more than 15, her face delicate and unreadable, her hands quick and practiced. She never addressed Angshan by name. She didn't need to. Her presence alone was enough to remind Angshan that someone was always observing. She stood nearby when Angshan was bathed in tepid water, flinched only slightly at the way cloth rubbed over wounds still scabbing from the cold stone floor. She stood behind the physician, her eyes dull and glassy, when the needles were pushed into Angshan's limbs with frightening precision. The physician was not from the monastery. Angshan could tell by the quality of her robes and the impatience in her voice. She treated Angshan like livestock, shaking her head after each pulse she took. "She's barely fit to walk," she said on the third day, fingers pressing into the bruised hollows beneath Angshan's ribs. "Too thin, too brittle. The brothel won't take her like this." Rue's expression remained unreadable. Without a word, she made a small, precise gesture, 2 fingers pressed to her chest, then a downward sweep. The healer nodded slightly, understanding the unspoken command. The abbess wanted Angshan breathing and pretty. Angshan lay flat on the pallet, her new cell faintly warmer than the old one, but still reeking of mildew. Around her, 3 older girls lay in silence. All wore similar silks. All stared at the ceiling as if it might offer mercy. None spoke, not even when their bodies took with nightmares or when someone whispered in the dark. Rue slept upright, in a small chair near the doorway. Sometimes she nodded off, but her head always jerked awake at the slightest sound. When Angshan tried once to shift toward the wall, hoping for just a moment of privacy, Rue was already looking. The message was clear: escape was not death. Death was a privilege. Escape was worse. On the 5th day, the physician brought her a lacquered box filled with vials and fine brushes. She painted Angshan's face with foul-smelling tinctures that burned slightly as they dried. "For the bruising," she muttered. "If they ask questions, tell them she fell during temple chores." Rue remained silent through it all. When the physician pricked Angshan's arm for blood, she only tilted her head. Angshan's limbs trembled uncontrollably afterward. It wasn't the pain, she was used to pain. It was the helplessness, the sense of being prepared like meat at market. Even the silk on her skin felt like mockery, its softness scraping against her raw spirit. She didn't know where she was meant to go. Rue had said marriage, but even that had been a lie dressed in flowers. Angshan was no innocent girl waiting for her wedding bed. She didn't remember much, only the way the maids would lower their voices when they said the words painted face and red gate. Another child once whispered that girls with painted mouths disappeared forever. She hadn't understood what it meant then, but she was starting to. And now they were painting her face, feeding her to plump her figure, using herbs to flush color into her cheeks. They even put rouge on her lips, just enough to make them seem redder than they were. She looked into a mirror once. Rue held it up for her. The image had startled her. Hollow eyes framed in a mask of beauty, a stranger's mouth that curled at the corners without a meaning to. She looked alive, but she wasn't. At night, when the room was thick with silence and the other girls finally slipped into uneasy sleep, Angshan lay curled on her side, wrapped in the scent of foreign ointments and dried blood. Rue sat in her chair, unmoving. For a moment, Angshan thought she saw something. Regret, perhaps, or doubt in the young girl's eyes, but it was gone as soon as it appeared. "Why me?" Angshan asked softly. Her voice was hoarse, like wind over dry leaves. Rue didn't answer. "'Cause it didn't matter," Angshan thought bitterly. "Nothing I was matters now. Not Hwaer, not Angshan, just flesh." The physician returned the next morning with a new set of tools. "She's almost ready," she said. "Another week, maybe less, if she survives." There were 13 of them in total, 13 girls dressed in rouge silk of pale, dusty hues, blue faded like the sky through ash, yellows that once might have been gold, rose pinks dulled with time. The fabrics were cheap and threadbare, but still softer than hemp. Still an insultingly pretty contrast against bruised skin. They were housed together in a long, low cell near the back of the compound, far from the novices' quarters, but not yet close to the outer gates. The room was lined with wooden pallets covered in thin straw mats. A single brazier burned low in the corner, barely warming the damp air. The girls moved little. They breathed, blinked, flinched when startled, but otherwise they drifted like ghosts. Shadows of people they might have once been. Angshan didn't know their names. No one had offered any. No one dared to ask. One girl had thick, matted hair that hadn't been combed properly even after bathing. She sat with her back against the wall and her knees drawn tightly to her chest, rocking slightly with no rhythm. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Her fingers were raw at the tips, chewed until they bled. Another girl had once been beautiful. You could still see it in the tilt of her cheekbones, the almond shape of her eyes, but her gaze was distant, fever bright, and she sometimes laughed quietly to herself when the silence stretched too long. One of the nuns had slapped her for that. The girl hadn't stopped. The laughter came now only in the dead of night, like wind leaking through broken shutters. Some of them bore clear signs of beatings, welted arms, split lips, swollen joints. The healers came and went with jars of balms and bundles of pungent herbs. The girls were scrubbed daily, force-fed thick porridge and dark tea, dosed with tonics and made them vomit or tremble or sleep. They were being prepared. Every morning they were lined up by the door, combed and dressed, hair was oiled and braided, rough silks adjusted to flatter, growing curves. If one collapsed, she was dragged back to her pallet and another took her place. None were exempt. The schedule was cold and unchanging. Rue remained in the back room. She never raised her voice, never struck them, but her silence was its own kind of battle. She was always present, during meals, during washings, during the twice-daily medical inspections. Angshan could feel her presence even when her eyes were closed. One evening, the healer returned with 2 female attendants, broad-shouldered women with rough hands and thin smiles. The girls were lined up for examination. One by one, they were looked over, touched, prodded. Ancient turned her face to the wall when they reached her. The healers scolded her for her lack of gratitude. The pretty girl with the fevered laugh was taken aside. Her robe was stripped down to her waist. She said nothing as the women appraised her, nodding at each other. "She'll fetch well," one murmured. That night, she cried for the first time. The next morning, she was gone. No one spoke of it. No one even looked at the empty space on the pallet. But something shifted after that, like the last thread of denial had finally snapped. One of the younger girls, barely past 12, refused her porridge. She clenched her mouth shut, eyes wide with panic as Rue approached. The other girls held their breaths. Well, Rue only sighed. A strap was fetched. The girl's wrists were bound to the chair, her nose pinched until she gagged down mouthful after mouthful. Ancient turned away, bile rising in her throat. When it was her turn, she drank every drop. The healer came more often after that. Needles went deeper. The bloodletting began. Thin cuts on the inner thighs and forearms meant to balance the humors. One girl fainted. She was revived with smelling salts and slapped hard across the face. Then the needles resumed. Rue didn't interfere. In moments when the pain dulled, Ancient sometimes caught snatches of whispered conversations between the girls. Mostly nonsense. Sometimes names. Always memories. Recited like prayers to stay human. My sister had a red sash. She wore it in the spring festival. Peach blossoms in our yard. I remember the smell. Mama said she'd come back. She promised. Ancient said nothing. Her memories were too sharp, too jagged to hold. Only once did someone speak directly to her. The girl with bitten fingers whispered as she passed. Voice papery thin. "You tried to die. I saw the rope." Ancient stared at her. The girl smiled faintly, teeth pink with blood. "Wish it worked," she said, and moved on. Rue stood near the door. She had heard. She said nothing. That night, Ancient lay on her side in the dark, feeling the silk brush her knees. Her stomach churned from the herbs. Her scalp ached from where it had been scrubbed raw. She wasn't sure if she would live through the week. She wasn't sure she wanted to. But something in her refused to surrender entirely. Perhaps it was hatred, perhaps it was instinct, perhaps it was only the thought of dying in a place like this, painted up like a doll, and sold like grain, that made her teeth clench and her fists curl. She didn't pray. She no longer believed in prayer. But she did not sleep. Rue sat in her chair. Her eyes never left Ancient. Damn, book. Holy shit. Oh my god. I thought I was terrible to my fucking... my people. But damn, man. I love it. I love it. It's so brutal and dark. I can't wait to see what the fuck happens. That's just what ChatGPT will allow. You need to get the unrestricted offline version. It's not connected to the internet, so it can't back up what you say, so it could just do its own thing. Found a spicy story generator. Ooh, that sounds good, book. So I can now have sex scenes. Hell yeah! I have one already, but I have to change a lot. Sounds about right. Alright, I think we're even gonna skip over the political memes today. It's for much later in the story. Makes sense. Because, we're gonna do these two hunts. And we're probably gonna call it after that. This will probably take a wee bit. Fucking Mitsasune. What should we use? What weapon should we use? Yes, I should also change this. Out for the night, I am fucking. Blast you will have. True, Sean. Have a good night, good sir. Let's see what we get here. Fuck! 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 This is bullshit. It's bullshit, guys. Total and utter fucking bullshit. Okay, let's grab the controller. Oh. Talk to Eric in the Scarlet Forest. Okay, we gotta take a tote. Tote time! What weapon should we use, guys? Hunting horn, alright. It's too quiet. Hell yeah, let's do it.
だからこそ我々が原因を調べよう。
まあ旅人さんがそう言うなら。
赤い竜、我らの家の近く、そこにいた。
情報ありがとう。じゃあ調査を始めよう。
Ah, shit, we didn't change weapons.
エリックは彼らにモンスターを理解してほしそうだった。
No, no. For fuck's sakes, it won't let me off? I have to do this? Ah, god damn it.
君は気づいてるだろうけど、僕は昔から人付き合いが苦手でさ。でも落ち込む僕にベルナーが言ったんだ。人も生物だろう。ならお前の得意分野だ。人に生まれたのは間違いじゃなかったって、その日から思えるようになったよ。知るとは扉を開き、道を進むこと。できれば誰にとってもそれを諦めたくはない。
True.
見て、リオレウスの痕跡だ。
調べよう。
これは爪痕だね。
まだ新しい。
自らの存在を示すマーキング。縄張り意識が強い証拠だ。行こう。痕跡はこっちに続いてる。
This is what I kind of don't like about Monster Hunter Wilds. Is I just want to get in and like kill the monster. Too much story.
これはリオレウスの火球の跡か。
よほど気が立っていたと見えるね。何かと争っていたのかな。
It's definitely Mizusune. Examine what tracks? In fact, that's like forcing you to go this way.
電撃の跡だね。この辺りに電撃を使う生物はいないはずなのに。こっちへ早く。
Okay. Nice.
どういうこと？リオレースがこんなに苛立つなんて。
Look, Arius! Look, Arius! It's Lugarius! What? Dude, I am having such trip backs to try. Monster Hunter try. Lagiacris! Like, that's my prey, bitch. Get out here. That was badass as fuck.
しかも森の中にまさかの大会の王者すごいよどうなってんのこの衝撃を村のみんなにも知ってほしいよ火の森はこんなにもいろんなモンスターがひしめき合う場所なんだってでもこれを放置したら森があり続けるのも現実だね残念だけど
We have to kill it.
火の森の生態系保護及び周辺住民の安全確保のためギルドは
エリック捕獲しよ
捕獲確かにそれで長期的に様子を見るのはありだけど
Alright.
よりによってラギアクルスをそんな難しいこと
I got this.
うその方が君の信念に近づくだろう
ありがとう君もそう言って
I mean, we capture everything anyway, so that we don't have to fucking kill it.
行こう
And you get the arena quests and the other quests. Damn, you just ate the entire thing. That's so badass.
サポートするよ
今回の目的は捕獲だ慎重に行くぞ
I guess I have to fight it with the insect glaive because it's not gonna let me get another weapon. Fuck. Uh-oh. That's dangerous as fuck.
電撃攻撃に気をつけて
Walk steady. Okay, now we're fully ready to go. Ooh. Oh, we did get them out. Hell yeah. Missed him. Ooh. We still got up in the air. Oh no. Okay, that was good. Also got a thing, I haven't upgraded my gear at all too, so my gear is pretty fucking weak. I don't have like any decoration. I haven't fought with Geocris in like 20 years. Last time I like 17 years. Nice, we got them out again. And down. Try me, bitch. Ooh. Ow. Okay, that fucking hurt. I got super lucky there. I got, like, insanely lucky. Oh, he's running away. Not that one. What's our other weapon? Charge blade. I don't know. Charge blade is so hard to use. I just get my ass kicked if we're gonna use a charge blade. Over here, we can find shortcuts too. The monsters aren't the only ones who get shortcuts now. We also get shortcuts. Okay, and let's just resharpen. Stay away. Oh, timed that terribly. They get it? There we go. There we go. Extract King. Ooh, damn. This guy's strong, man. You don't like me. Oh shit, nice tail swag, bro. Nice! That was epic. Oh my god. Oh no, I'm dead. I love how Eric's just sitting there. Whew. That almost hit me. Thought that was a spin, not a body slam. Okay, he's just kicking my ass now. Oh man, I don't think he has any wounds on him. I gotta get my extracts back. Ah! Holy shit, bro. Okay. This is not good. Oh, I forgot to eat. Nice. Okay. Ooh, that was close. Shit. Oh. Give me your tail! Whew. Oh, I'm out. Nice. Oof, that was bad. The sustain is like really good from the bug. Got a lot of heals. Can do another charge. Only recharge stamina. Now that would be broken. Oof. I was not expecting that. Run away. Nice, we got him out again. Oh! We got Rocksteady, Mantle Bat. Oh, he's moving zones. Okay, we're getting closer, guys. It means we're doing some damage to him. I'm gonna go up here. I do like moving through the terrain, though. It feels really, really good. It was like going all the way around when the monsters take ridiculous shortcuts. Uh-oh. There's like deeper waters out there. That's kind of scary. I'm just gonna tell him to go to the target. Oh, I never would have known to go under here. Ooh. That. have a wound on him? I guess not. Oh! Stamina. And his freaking body. Also needs his tail. Ooh, that hurt. That really hurt. Happy got the distraction for me though. Nice, tip of the tail. That's what we need. We do get to dive in! Oh my god. Is this underwater combat? Yes! Yes! Oh my god. I did bad there. Oh. Dude, oh my god, this is so good! Shit. My bad. We got destroyed. That was fucking epic. Yes, underwater fighting. It's been so long. We deserve it. Fuck, that looks good. Okay, now we've eaten. Take us to the monster. Oh, man. Still can't manage to get his fucking tail. Gotta get this bastard's goddamn tail. See, Happy agrees with me. He knows what's going on.
環境物質の使いそうだ。利用してみけ。
Yes! No, never mind. Didn't have to kill it. Okay, well, I don't know. It just killed me. Again. And we only have one more death. Well, this is bullshit. Deal damage to stop its discharge attack. Oh, I don't know how to fucking deal damage to it. I keep missing. The tutorial for this shouldn't be in the middle of the fucking fight. Because if I lose, I'm gonna do the whole fight all over again. That's bullshit.
電力を貯めてる。急いで攻撃を。
Yeah, I'm just gonna lose. Wait, that's it? I can go ashore now?
とんでもない攻撃が来るよ。全速で避けて。ダイヤクルスは強力な帯電人体。まだまだ気をつけて。
Well, it didn't kill me. Oh, he came back out of the water. Okay. We only have one death, though. This is bad. He doesn't have any wounds on him either, so I'm gonna get this shit naturally. No, get out of the water! Ooh. Dead. Well, that's unfortunate. I probably need to upgrade my armor and weapons and shit. But, hey, I think we're going to call it here, guys. Again, it's going to be short streams for the next little bit, because I need to recoup my energy for the 24-hour stream. So, it is what it is, but hey, we got our ass handed to us. Fuck it, we'll figure something out. We gotta get a new set, better shit, better stuff. And I was not expecting a Legiacris. That was intense. But, the underwater, oh my god, the underwater fighting, peak. Fucking beautiful. If only I'd done it right the first time and not got zapped twice, I probably would have fucking beaten him. But hey, it is what it is. But remember guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out. We had a good time today. Didn't do no writing, but that's okay. It happens sometimes. We brainstormed the shit out of the book, though. We may have an entirely different viewpoint of things. And an entirely different outcome of stuff. But we'll see how we can meditate on the beginning and changing everything. But hey, as always, guys, remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you! Alright, guys, who we rating today? Let's go. Alright guys, I think we got ourselves a new one. Get your wheels ready. Get your wheels ready, guys.